What is up, everybody? Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever you are in the world. Whether you are in the United States and you're an insomniac, whether you're in the UK and you're having a lovely afternoon, or whether you're over here, or actually be having a lovely afternoon here in Asia, Australia, or New Zealand, or whether you're waking up in the UK, it's good to see you and talk to you wherever you are in the world. As always, I am Andrew Esquire. This is The Legal Mindset, where we help you be your own judge. Today, we're going to have a banger, lots of good information, and I'm joined by two great folks, somebody who has been, both of which have been here before, but never together. So first, for the first time coming on my stream for Johnny Depp coverage is Kurt of Uncivil Law. Kurt, good morning.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Kurt. I was really shocked when Kurt was up. I was like, this shows you the level of commitment of LawTube to come and stream at any hour of the night.
No, yeah, we got to support our friends, get by with a little help from my friends,
Exactly. Well, I appreciate that, Kurt. You're a good friend, and I really do appreciate it. And also, my new friend from the UK, Jordy. Jordy, thank you so much for coming back on, and sharing your knowledge with us, not just of the UK and UK kind of law, but also we're going to go through some data today, which is your other expertise.
Yeah, no worries. It's great to be back.
Oh, your volume's a little low, Jordy.
My bad. I had my mute button on in line. Yeah, that's how early it is. I've had 1 hour of sleep last night. Literally, I got off of Alita's stream, jumped onto Kurt's stream, then jumped onto your stream, then did my own research for today's stream as well. So yeah, an hour of sleep I've had. So yeah.
Yeah. And if you guys are not sleeping, or if you are sleeping, make sure you're smashing the like button on the way in. It helps us in the algorithm. Guys, you guys are all over the world. Also, I love to hear when you guys say hello at this time slot. Tell me where you're from, because this really helps me know that I should do this especially for the international people. I see a lot of New Zealand here.
Good
UK,
morning from the great state of Texas, my friends.
Texas. I'm going to be in Texas
yes.
briefly in a bit. Israel, Maine, Cape Town. We got here Arizona, South Carolina.
Man, they're having an even earlier morning than me.
Ireland, Turkey, Suffolk, USA, Netherlands. Got all over the world here, guys. And that's what I love here on The Legal Mindset. Also, even got Ravencrest from my hometown, the 305 in Miami. Good to see you as well, Emma from Manchester. Thank you. So we got a lot to talk about today. I actually was worried that I wasn't going to have stuff, and now I have too much stuff to talk about today. And guys, if you have anything to send me, send it to my Twitter, which is at The Legal Mindset. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's been sending things to me. There are things that I have right now and things we're going to talk about that I only have because you guys are sending them to me on my Twitter. So if you have a link, a meme, anything that's interesting you want us to talk about, send it to me at Twitter. I check my message requests. Trust me, even if I just send you a quick thank you or hit the thumbs up emoji, I will definitely respond to you guys no matter how many messages I get. So let's start with some of the memes, and then we'll get into some of the substance here. So, and the memes, of course, always tell the story, and I really loved going with the memes. And now I have a second screen, guys, so I can not boomer this. I'm so proud of myself now. Only after I shared DUI guy's video without audio for 30 minutes yesterday.
That's got to deserve you a bunch of likes for getting that second screen.
Yes, guys. S in the chat for the second screen, guys. Oh, and by the way, because I don't have it pulled up here yet. What I want to pull up here, I think we had a super chat in the morning here that came in. Let me make sure I catch it. And there was a super chat asking about the witness list. So, and if we're going to go over it, we will go over the witness list. So the order, we're going over the memes. There's some controversy about courtroom audio. Then we're going to do the witness list, and then we're going to do data. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And then I want an assessment also about generally who people think is winning. So Susie had said, hi from Melbourne, curious who takes the stand. And by the way, Susie, thank you very much for that. So here we go. First meme here. I hope the ammo prices don't get too crazy. The price of ammo. Very good. Very good. Of course, this is more of a U.S. joke, guys. So yeah, I don't know if this is really a broad joke as much, but you all know we love guns. Come on now. Amber Heard claimed that she was the victim of domestic violence at the hands of Johnny Depp. Recent audio files proved that she abused him.
Maury Povich, you're not the father? Okay.
You are not the father. Okay, there's 2 cat memes. One of which, this one is like the only one I've gotten of this one. It's kind of the grumpy cat one, which is pretty good. Objection leading. What, if any, Your Honor? But everybody sent me this one. And did you grow up with The Simpsons,
yeah.
Kurt?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, as a Simpsons fan, I was like, all right. I grew up with The Simpsons. Like, this is good. Like, this is content right here, guys. So this is the type of thing I appreciate seeing. By the way, Daniel says, not since Johnny's description of Amber have I seen someone so well read as on civil law. So, all right, we got that one. All right, so this is a juxtaposition, right? So I did get sent this meme of Saint Camille. Right?
I'm definitely making some candles with her on it. Yep.
Yeah. So you've got Saint Camille here, but then you've got this other one, which I didn't confirm this. I just got sent this. This is fucked up, but this is what somebody sent me saying that Amber Turd fans made this one, which is this one right here from @TruthForAmber, right? Once again, I want to be very clear. I was sent this, right? And this is allegedly from this account. I do not know whether this is actually real or not, but if so, extraordinarily fucked up. Next, and one of the reasons that I think that it might be fake is because if you look at actual Amber Heard support, this is GoFundMe. $285 out of 10,000 to help supporters of Amber Heard to Virginia trial.
Yeah,
says it all.
Travel expenses. Yeah. Amber needs supporters to go to the Fairfax, Virginia trial. Help save a life. I love how they're so uneducated. They think that she's going to jail.
Well,
come on, Kurt. Come on. They really do believe that.
Maybe they're speaking more metaphorically.
You're giving them a real benefit of the doubt.
I'm trying hard.
Hey guys, Kurt Cavani's gonna like steel man some of the Heard arguments, and I'm like, all right, buddy, you're allowed to do it. You know, it's my channel. I've tried to do it. It's just really hard to do what we call steel manning, which is make the best argument out of a really shitty position.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do that. And lawyers have to do that. We often have to argue for sides that we don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
So obviously not a lot of support there. All right. So we're going to get into this. So there's 2 videos I'm going to show you. The first one is not as great, but it gives you some context. The second one is better quality video. It also has a better zoom in. So there is this courtroom audio. This is alleged to be courtroom audio. I'm going to let you listen to this and be your own judge, but I'm going to play both of them and let you guys think about what you think here. Right. So I'm going to play this. These are off of TikTok.
All right. So I got some information I was tagged in. Shout out to Mama Dukes 32. I'm going to play it for y'all. I've already written words to it because it's what I think I hear, but I want to hear what y'all think that y'all hear. I've already turned the volume all the way up and tried to get the volume as clear as I could because they are whispering, but tell me what you think that Mr. Crazy Doctor was saying to Elaine. And you already know what I'm about to say. Ain't nothing to but to get into it, so let's go.
Okay, so let me play this audio again. So I'm gonna go to this audio on a different account. So this one has a more clear view. Remember, it's supposed to be Elaine and Spiegel, aka Dr. Nosferatu, right here in the upper left corner talking. So this is courtroom video. So obviously you see it more focusing on Johnny, but you catch them out of the corner of the courtroom video. So listen up. We're gonna play it one more time.
Thank you. All right.
So it's real low. That audio is real low. But the claim that the doctor is saying, I I will lie in my testimony. Is there something I'm not allowed to lie about? That's the claim.
No, I would question the validity of that audio, but if you look at Whitney's reaction, just as they walk away, Whitney starts looking up to the ceiling in despair as if to say, oh no, why are they doing this?
Right, that is correct. Look at Whitney right there.
And Whitney's just being Whitney.
Where's is Joe in the background in here? Where you got Joe? Let's see. I can never spot Joe because he doesn't have his hat on. Like I lost his identity, you know. Anyways, so you guys, Jordy, you're suspect. You think it's sus?
Yeah, I mean, it would never have been picked up on the official feed. I wouldn't have thought. So, like, how would you get that recording? You're not supposed to record in a courtroom, as far as I know. I mean, maybe the rules are different over in the States, but over here, you certainly aren't supposed to.
Yep.
Yeah. Once again, I'm not saying whether confirm or deny. What I am saying, though, is, guys, I had at least 10 of you send me that. So the fact of the matter is you guys are listening to it and you're sending it to me. So which means that some people are relying on this. So what I would tell you is, look, it could be true, but it also could be complete garbage.
Well, I think rely is exactly the key word because I think that's probably what they're saying in the audio. I think they're probably saying rely, not lie, because that makes sense. Yeah. Is there anything I can't rely on? I'm going to rely on something. Is there anything I can't rely on? That makes sense.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I say. I hear rely. She says she reads rely.
Yeah, I don't believe this.
I don't think he would openly say lie too. That's too, like, in the courtroom, you're going to say lie. Like,
no.
I say people can lip read that. So people, like, I have a feeling that people probably would have picked up on it because when that kind of conversation happens, there are people in the courtroom that tend to watch those kind of conversations. And yeah, if it is legit, I'm surprised that more people that were in the actual courtroom haven't actually come out and said something about it.
And pick that one up. Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, that was right there in the galley. It's very interesting. So I'm not going to put too much stock in that. However, I will say that one will be floating around today. I'm sure, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to get...
Kurt,
I'm looking forward to so many super chats from Elita Stream today, asking this question over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But I'm doing my best, evaluator over here. I'm just saying false. Fact check false.
Fact check false. All right. Let's move over here to the witness list. And I want to get your thoughts on this one because this should be pretty interesting. There's a lot of people allegedly on it. So this is allegedly, let me zoom in here. This is allegedly the witness list. So a source close to Depp confirms his team will call the following witnesses as part of the rebuttal case. Dr. Richard Shaw, Dr. Kimberly Collins, forensic psychologist, Candy Davidson Goldbraun, Walter Hamada. I hope they fucking call Walter Hamada. According to what I was talking with Valiant Renegade about last night, he's going to fucking assassinate the evaluation of Amber Heard, like literally nuke it from orbit.
Nice.
Depp's rebuttal witnesses continued. Richard Marks, entertainment lawyer, Mike Spindler, damages expert, Doug Bania, social media expert, Morgan Knight, Hicksville witness, Dr. David Kluber, Jennifer Howell. Oh, shit.
You gotta get Jennifer Howell in there.
Kate Moss.
Yep.
Brian Neumeister, metadata expert, Morgan Tremaine, Lydia Phillip, the flight attendant.
The flight attendant's pretty solid.
That will destroy them. Dr. Shannon Curry, yes. Mommy, please. And to finish with this, I think this is beautiful if they finish with this. So Johnny gets the last word and they can't say anything. Mwah. Perfect.
Depending on what we get from the other doctor, we may not need Curry because it might be duplicative. Depending on how good, I understand.
I want Curry back for reasons. I want Curry back for reasons.
I understand.
I'm sorry.
You're doing your waifu thing. I understand.
Yes.
Vakez is my waifu.
Okay.
And, everyone else can stay off.
It's the waifu wars. It's mommy versus lawyer, like Dr. Mommy versus lawyer mommy, you know?
And it all depends what they're there for. I mean, there's lots of stuff during Amber's case in chief that Dr. Shannon Curry can actually dispute, whereas this other doctor might be focusing on the expert that Amber's team brought up, for example, because he was full of BS.
Yeah, complete BS. Like really complete BS.
So it'd be interesting to see about this Neumeister guy, because if he's a metadata expert, then why hasn't the metadata from the photographs been included as evidence? Because if they've got an expert to testify that it is legit or not legit, then they should be able to use that as part of their case, surely.
Well, but Jordy, they redacted the metadata from the photographs, so that might just
right. Okay.
Remember, so he might be coming in to debunk it, and on top of that, might be coming in there to debunk other metadata from other files. I don't know.
I don't know if we need a metadata guy really at this point, because metadata has kind of become a non-issue at this point.
I wouldn't trust metadata anyway, because on my wife's phone, she can edit the date and time that a picture was took, and then if you export it to a computer, it shows the date and time she inputted, not the date and time it was took.
Well, hold on, but that's a good point, Jordy. Why not just get an expert up there and once again, I think Johnny's team can do this. Amber's team is inept in their ability to quickly go through an expert and just bring them up there to ask, can you edit it on your phone? Yes. Is it easy? Yes. Can anyone do it? Yes. Is Amber Heard capable of doing it? Yes. Okay. No further questions. I mean, that's all you need is to say, could it be edited? Just put that idea out there. Put that idea in their head that it could have been edited, that it's possible.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, get in and get out. I mean, that's all you need. You know what you need from them. Get in and get out. I mean, Kurt, I don't know how you felt, but this list, if this was Amber's team, they could never get through it. But no. I actually have faith that Johnny's team could get through this.
I believe it. What was page 1 of the list again?
I'm sorry. I just shut that one down. Let me see. I'm going to stop sharing.
Reopen, close tab.
Yeah. It's right here. Yeah. But the witnesses look pretty solid overall. The audio right here. Okay, here we go. So here's the first one. Richard Shaw, and I can zoom in a little bit here.
What's Shaw's specialty?
Richard Shaw. Actually, I forget about that one. Is he the treating physician? He might have been the treating physician. Guys in the chat, if you know about Shaw's specialty, if that's written down, if you guys know Shaw, let us know. I think he might have treated him at some point.
Okay.
So you might have actual knowledge.
Maybe.
Unlike the Dr. Spiegel, who had no actual knowledge.
Yeah, maybe I bring in Collins for sure. Maybe on the Children's Hospital thing. I mean, we already know she didn't donate, so we don't really need to drive that point home.
Just
Warner Brother Pictures to go to damages and show what they did. I mean, maybe if we, depending on what we get out of Warner Brothers, maybe.
But it nukes the counterclaim. It nukes the
possible.
Also, with the new dude that's just taken over Warner Bros, Hamada's going to say basically what that new boss wants him to say, and what that new boss is going to want him to say is, we do not renegotiate on any of our contracts, because the new owner of Warner Bros will not renegotiate on any contracts. He is a man of money. He comes from finances.
Yep.
And I don't believe that Hamada will risk his job, especially when his job is really on the line at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely think they're not going to say that they would have paid him more or that they shafted them. There'd be such a controversy if they would say, oh, yeah, we would have paid her more for some reason, but not XYZ. They're going to say, nope, we wouldn't have paid her a dime more even if she tried, which is going to be devastate Amber's case. Daniel Chapman said, please let Camille press the Bing button to call the flight attendant to the stand. What can I get you, miss? The truth. Done.
I like it.
I like that, Daniel. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, this is presumably the flight attendant that was kicked and was doing Molly on the plane and stuff.
Yeah, that did Molly with them. So here's what. So did Molly with them was touching Amber. So they were having some like quasi-sexual interaction there. And then Johnny grabbed her wrist so hard as to almost break it.
Yeah. And presumably the flight attendant's just going to basically say no. None of those things.
Lie detector said that is a lie. Richard Marks, entertainment lawyer. So I guess Kurt, what would you bring up an entertainment lawyer to say? Would that be more to debunk some of the contract issues, or
maybe to show that disprove that Amber Heard that the thing hurt Amber Heard. Her acting was the thing that was the problem.
So for Mike Spindler, the damages expert, would you spend more time on Johnny's damages or Amber's damages, or would you kind of work in both for the damages expert?
Maybe do something on Amber's damages. I think we got Johnny's down already.
You think that's locked, right? Don't need any more data on that.
I mean, it's not a priority.
Okay. And it's also rebuttal, right? So you're trying to like counter their points.
Yep.
Doug Bania, social media expert, is gonna pick apart that fucking graph and And I know later
Maybe
on,
say some more Amber Turd and Me Poo and
yes, Jordy, I know you have those tables later.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to that testimony. That's probably out of most of the experts. That's the one I'm looking forward to. I'm a data guy now, so yeah.
By the way, Mac and Cheese, welcome to BLM, aka Based Legal Mindset, my membership program. You have access to the Soju Emoji, Toilet, Cat Girl, Vampire Girl, Andrew, and Adam, which is my hoodie persona. And as well as if I see you chatting and there's not a lot of super chats, I'll try to catch your chats. So appreciate that. Welcome. Next, Morgan Knight, Hicksville witness. So I guess we'll get a accurate depiction of what happened at Hicksville. I did Hicksville only because I think most of the Hicksville testimony came out from Amber's side, right? Not from Jarvy's side.
Yeah.
So I guess that's good.
What I don't get with. Go on, sorry.
I was gonna say good night, Milo. Good night, Milo. Thank you for the super chat. 6 Canadian, so I can buy 1 beaver pelt. Thank you. Go ahead, Jordy.
What I don't get with the Hicksville witnesses and all the story around it is I don't see the point of it. All Johnny's team need to do is bring in the judgment from the UK trial where it says in black and white that the judge did not consider the Hicksville incident because he did not believe it to be relevant and wholly true. All they need to do is bring that part of the judgment in and tell that to the jury.
Yep, that's exactly right. And they're done. That's it. That's all they need. Shout out to Fresh and Fitted, $20. Time to kick ass when you come back stateside. What's up, brothers? Good to see you in the chat. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate that. Shout out there for my boys, Fresh and Fit. Dr. David Kluber here. We got David, who's Depp's hand doctor.
Yeah, so, I could bring him on. That works for me. I like that. And then Hal for sure. Yeah. So some of these witnesses I could toss if I needed to for time.
Jennifer Howell. Oh, so here's actually, let me ask you, Civil, because I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. Also, Burst of Beauty, welcome to the membership. Welcome to BLM. Jennifer Howell, have you looked over her statement, Kurt?
Deliberately no.
Deliberately no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I want to try to keep my mind within the scope of the trial as much as I can. So I try to not look at external information. So, yeah. Okay, so let me just say this. Some of the Hal testimony is going to be hearsay. I don't know whether or not they want to burn this one earlier or later. There may be some strategy to doing this later, so there's not as much time to object or cross, right? If you're really limiting their ability to
video deposition for Jennifer Howell, so I'd get it out of the way quickly. She's not going to be a live witness because of the amount of time she's been on social media commenting about the case.
Yeah, it's going to be boring. It'll be earlier, right?
Jennifer Howell gets to call the sister a liar, which is lots of fun. So that's nice.
Yeah, so then if that's the case, I would prefer to have Jennifer Howell come earlier rather than later. That might just be my 22 cents here, though.
And what do we think about the 2 potential experts for Amber left this morning? Because there was apparently a blonde female and a salt and pepper haired bloke that was sat in the front row as expert witnesses.
With what time?
They've got 4 hours left, Kurt. They've got 4 hours left.
But hold on, Jordy, yesterday, let's think about their time management yesterday. They had 3 expert witnesses. 3 expert witnesses that they took the whole day, right? The whole day is 8 hours. So
why did they let the old man ramble so much? I mean, his answer, the jury didn't get anything from that. I'm sitting there thinking I fell asleep. I had a 1.5 hour nap during it and woke up when they went for a break. That's how boring it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're going to be left with basically no time for rebuttal.
Milo's trolling here in the chat. He's like, I support Amber Heard. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Milo, based on your other previous. So you're trying to troll here. But regardless, hopefully you're here getting factual information and educating yourself, brother.
I assume that the times on the clock include rebuttal cases, because why wouldn't they? And so you have 4 hours left. You need all that for the rebuttal cases for cross X. A lot. You can't burn it all. If you burn it all, then you're not left with much, because we were doing a legal analysis on my channel yesterday. There does seem to be some case law in Virginia for the proposition that you can't deny them cross-X completely, even if they run out of time.
Apparently, Rob has turned around and said that Ascarati will not allow it.
And will not allow what?
The so there was discussions yesterday on various different streams about the potential for even if Amber's team run out of time completely, to be allowed like 10 minutes per witness for cross-examination.
And Rob has said he practices there and it's a no.
Yeah, apparently Rob has said that the judge is never going to go for that.
Well, and they shouldn't. I think that's unjust to do that, right? It's unjust. It's unfair.
Again, the judge probably knows something I don't. I mean, because I was just looking into this issue yesterday, but I did find a case from 2017 from the Court of Appeals that seemed to say that even if you run out of time, you still need to give them some time for cross-ex, and then doesn't go on to say how much time that is. So I mean, maybe there's other authority the judge is working on, but
sure, I would love this. You know what, Kurt? Give them. They get 15. They get like 2 questions worth. So you get like 30 seconds.
Basically, I do like 20 per is basically what I'd give them. I think that survives my legal challenges for the Court of Appeals.
I mean, it all depends as well. Is there no way that they could have both waived that right to cross if they run out of time?
I mean, you can always waive the right to cross. You can always not cross, right? You can always choose not to cross, right? But there's a difference between having a choice and being told you can't. I understand. I can appreciate that, like as a procedural thing, but I don't know. I mean, frankly, I can also get the argument that you've had X amount of time.
I wonder if Rob is awake. I need Rob on my channel so I can talk to him.
Yeah, he's got the link. I mean, the link is in the public chat. The same link that Kurt found, he's got. So Kurt,
maybe Rob knows something I don't know.
Yeah, if you have his number and you want to message him and he's awake right now at this ungodly hour in the Eastern time, I'm happy for him to get up.
He didn't text me since 11 o'clock last night.
He might be awake. He might be awake then. He might be awake. It's possible. Kittler says some of the rebuttal witnesses could waste Amber Heard's time, after which you get out the nukes. And I think that Curry and Johnny at the end would be nuclear weapons for sure. Like their testimony would be devastating. Your boy Yeti says it was so boring. I played the full campaign XCOM too. I haven't played XCOM, but I feel like it's one of the games I would like, but I have never played it. Because I like the turn-based games and strategy, so that sounds pretty good. Daniel Chapman says, hasn't Richard Marks' brother Skid Marks already appeared on the bed? Oh,
nice.
Daniel, I love your fucking memes. It's great. Also, good morning to this fucking psycho, this deviant, this guy who is not sleeping with me right now and willing to come on and talk about this. What's up, Valiant Renegade? How are you doing, brother?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, of course I can. Yeah, we can hear you.
I have no audio. Hang on one second.
Okay, you have no audio. Okay, cool. So got that one out there too. I believe I'm caught up now. And also, what's up to Tank Rat in the UAE? I definitely will have a soju. As you can see, I don't have much in my fridge because I'm leaving to the United States right now, but I do have plenty of soju in my fridge. So I'm ready to be drinking today. I usually start drinking like a good way into the first witnesses. So you'll see me hitting that today, like 100%. Anything here, anybody on this list, Kurt, anything that you see here that you wouldn't bring up, or anybody that's missing, any other witnesses you might think about yourself?
Not particularly.
Okay. Jordy, anything from you? Anything you might miss here, or any other witnesses that you think that you kind of question? I'll go to the second page here.
So I wouldn't focus too much on Johnny's damages. I think the trouble with like Amber's side is they spend too long hammering the same nail. So I would hope, from what we've seen so far from JD's team, that with these rebuttal witnesses, they don't do that. They get to what they actually need to get to. And it's the same with the psychologist. The psychologist could potentially say some damaging things about Johnny's case, even being Johnny's witness, because I mean, in my eyes, if I was an expert witness, I'd want to try and be as independent as possible, even if I was being paid. So that's the issue I've kind of had with the expert witnesses so far, is they are very skewed one side or the other, even if they're talking about both sides. It's like the damages expert that said, "Oh no, Johnny couldn't have expenses."
Okay, secret.
Johnny couldn't have damages for things that don't exist yet, but Amber can. Of course she can.
Right. Frank Hick says, Are you and Kurt hanging with me? Of course, as Kurt bounces. But hopefully we can, maybe this time, because I'm coming back once, but I just mentioned this last night. I'm thinking about it, and I may end up going to Anime Matsuri because a lot of people are going to be there. Nick's going to be there. A lot of other folks are going to be there. So I may just go to Anime Matsuri in Houston and end up meeting up with more people there because there's going to be a lot of people, not just them, but other people as well that I can generate content with. So that might be an effective use of my time because I'm always trying to use my time effectively. Vinray Lowell says, morning from Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, what's up to the hot Atlanta, the dirty ATL? I miss, Korea has very good fried chicken, but I will say Atlanta fried chicken does hit different, right? It just hits different. It's not the same thing. So I do miss that, especially Gus's fried chicken downtown. That was my favorite spot. Nettie Daniel, Dr. Siegler lost his mind on the stand. God has mental health care. Note, don't call someone an idiot. Yeah, he did it. He did it in the deposition. He called Johnny Depp an idiot, and to pretend that he didn't know about it or forgot it, that was very disingenuous. It was extremely disingenuous.
I thought he was so wrong when he turned around and just linked that slow cognitiveness to drugs and alcohol abuse. The man's got ADHD. Slow cognitive responses, lack of attention, and memory lapses, especially short-term memory, is like the main staples of ADHD, if you like.
Right. Stan says, Battlestar Galactica Deadlock is a fun turn-based strategy tactical fleet game, especially for BSG fans. Yeah. So I was like, I consider myself like a BSG like watcher. I do like it, but I wasn't like an obsessed fan of BSG. What's up, Valiant? Did you ever play? So he does the super chat here. Did you ever play Battlestar Galactica Deadlock?
I have not. I know Battlestar Galactica. I've not played the game.
Right. Are you a fan of BSG?
I am. It's been forever since I've really watched it, but yes.
Yeah, it was a good series. Like, especially some of these series, looking back on them, especially with what we have today, we're like, you know what? I'm reassessing this as better than I thought it was.
Right?
Was Battlestar the one where you had the dude with the gold mark on his forehead? And they used to go through the portals, or is that a different TV show?
No. That's Stargate.
Stargate. That's it.
SG1.
Stargate. Yeah, SG1 was brilliant.
SG1 was good. I did like SG1, guys. Nerding out right here. The key ingredient for ATL fried chicken is a fry cook higher than a kite, waiting to spend his pay at the strip club. Yes, because the only thing that Atlanta is more well known for than its fried chicken is its strip clubs, guys. That's the only thing that Atlanta is more well known for. Rachel Dixon says, do we think Kate Moss will be extremely helpful? Yes. She's not going to come up there and say JD was a monster. She's going to come up there and be like, that bitch Amber Heard is not explaining this right. And to throw her name out there, because Amber Heard did not do that in a way that looks good for Kate Moss. So now that Kate Moss has been besmirched, she is not going to react well to that. I guarantee you she did not ask for Kate Moss's permission to use her name like that.
Is she going to be there live, or is this going to be a video depot?
I think that's going to be a video depot, or a remote depot. It's not great, but if they do it, as long as it's not pre-recorded, the pre-recorded ones are awful. If they do it remote and they can actually ask questions live, like that's better.
Kate Moss is supposed to be live video link. Yep.
Yeah, that's better. I'm okay with that versus I really do not like the video depositions that are pre-recorded. I think those should never be played in court.
Cut so badly.
The crops are horrible. Yeah, it's just totally trash. Also, Jordy, I don't know. I'm going to bring it up later, the tables you sent me, because I have these queued up, but some of them are a little bit blurry, so I'm not sure.
They are, yeah. So basically what I did was I took them from I took screenshots from the main screen, so some of the data is blurry, but most people that have watched it will have seen them. It's just to get an idea of what I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Cool. Just FYI, because we're going to go to some data stuff next, which is going to be interesting. Danielle Chapman said, by the time Elaine established the criteria to establish the credentials for any of her witnesses, Amber had aged 35 years, nullifying any claims for loss of potential income. Yes. Now, speaking of someone who is like me, but aged 35 years and twice as sexy in a cowboy hat, Legal Vices, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
That is a freaking
wow.
intro. There we go.
Oh yeah, what's up, man? How
I can't
annyeonghaseyo,
quit you,
how's it
legal
going?
mindset.
When I get to that age, if I get that kind of intro, that's it. I'll be happy.
That's
It's
all
like
you
Doc
want.
Holliday from Tombstone. Where's Val Kilmer?
But yeah, welcome back from the world of the Korean work world. You know, as you know, Jeff is an actual attorney in Korea. He practices, which means he works. So he's not just a grifter like me, a professional grifter like me.
Making my boss rich one day at a time.
Wait,
Yep.
Jeff, you have a job?
until my boss finds out about my YouTube channel.
Relentless Medic, welcome to the membership program. Welcome to the Base Legal Mindset BLM. You now have access to the emojis, and I will try to shout you out if I see you in the chat. Raquel said they said Kate will be live through Skype. Yes, so she'll be live through Skype. So is that better? Yes, that's not horrible, but is it great? No. Do I really love it? No.
At least,
all.
like you
Offering
said,
will
as
get.
long as there can be some interaction, I think that will keep it, a lot more entertaining than just watching a pre-recorded depo. And then, of course, I've heard it's been a few years since I've seen Kate Moss. I've heard she's put on a few pounds and she's all the way up to a size 2 now. I don't know
Oh my god,
for sure, but
I
we'll see.
wanted to see her sashay through the courtroom and show Amber Heard what style's all about.
yeah.
Yes, I would love to see her show Amber up.
Compared to Amber, if you put Kate Moss next to Amber, Amber's a $2 stripper. It's like a 50-cent stripper, right? She's gonna look completely trashy. It's gonna
Wouldn't
be
even pay 50 cents.
I don't understand her outfit choices at all since this has started, with rare exception. I swear to God, if she shows up today looking Amish, it's not going to surprise me at all, because
she's
I don't
everywhere.
understand.
She's everywhere.
Yeah,
she's
it's
been
all
Dr.
over
Evil.
the map.
She's
Reminded me
she's
of Colonel Sanders yesterday.
Yeah.
I
Right?
actually went and had KFC for dinner because of it.
I just actually, you know what's funny? I literally just had Korean KFC, and it's actually really good here. Jeff, is it not better in Korea?
No, because they don't have the fucking mashed potatoes here.
Okay,
Wait,
that's
you
fair.
get
KFC
That's
is
fair.
in America?
That's fair.
KFC
That's fair.
is the worst mashed
That's fair.
potatoes on earth, the worst gravy on
I
earth.
didn't
but
order
somehow
mashed potatoes.
Nah, sorry, the
combined
gravy at
together-
KFC is the best. The gravy
combined
over here in the
together,
UK is the
yeah.
best.
Combined together, the worst gravy and the worst potatoes make the best combination. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
but I keep
The
KFC
chicken is good.
on
The chicken is good.
in business here. Actually, I got a coupon today for 10,000 off.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm from New Orleans. We got Popeyes. Here. This is
Popeyes,
where it
I
came
know.
from.
You know what's funny though? You know what's
I-
funny,
you know,
Valiant?
we don't know what
Valiant,
KFC is.
What's hilarious with Popeyes is they tried to come to Korea and
Yeah.
they failed
They
because they didn't Koreanize their food. Like they didn't change it over. So it
How long
wasn't.
ago was that?
There's one literally that failed in Itaewon. You know what we're talking about, Jeff. There's one that went out of business and it's just completely empty. So it must have been recently.
That was long after the original owner Al Copeland here in New Orleans passed away. He sold that company to a national outfit. Oh God, it's been 20 years, I bet, at this point.
Yeah, most of them died about 15 years ago here.
Okay.
There's a few stragglers, but rumor has it they're coming back.
So
Yeah.
here's a good question for you guys. I want you guys to opine on this, even though he added me, and I'll chime in. But Willie Canuck says, "Does the verdict actually matter?" This is a PR campaign for Depp and a successful one. So let's go with Jordy, Jeff, and then Valiant. I want to hear. So do you think the verdict matters, Jordy?
It all depends how it goes. I think if let's take a really, really, really left field approach and say that Johnny loses and Amber wins, that is really detrimental to everything Johnny's said and stood for during this trial. It's never going to happen, but if it did happen, that's the only way I can see it affecting Johnny. For Heard, she's going to take a long, long time to recover her reputation after this. That's for sure. If she ever does.
Yeah, Jeff.
Well, I guess because I'm a lawyer, I have to say yes and no. Let me explain here.
Now you're sounding like Nick Rekieta. Gonna law explain this shit. Go ahead.
Yeah. Generally speaking, if we look at it just on itself, no, I don't think it matters at all because, as the comment said, I think this was just hit. If he just releases this stuff, if he puts something out on the internet, it was gonna be he said, she said. He's gonna be written off as the abuser who's trying to smear her. He's doing it now in a controlled court environment, releasing it under oath, witnesses under oath he's controlling the narrative at this point, and he can rely on the fact that everything happened under oath. So in that sense, no. But in the other sense, there might be the unintended consequence that if he loses this, he's won the public opinion so far at this point that losing it may be better than winning it for him, because now that's how much he hasn't been able to get his justice. It's so unjust for him, he can't even win the lawsuit. So I think it may actually help him if he loses.
Honestly, that's the first time I've heard that take, Jeff, but I can understand that. I can really understand that, like the extremity of that.
I mean, if you have women standing up in court claiming that he may be the father of their child before they're drug out, he's won the court of public opinion. Ain't nobody showing him going, "You're my baby mama, Amber, and you know it."
Yeah, nobody wants that.
No, nobody wants anywhere near that, like anywhere at all. I would say, so Valiant, what do you think about the verdict? Doesn't matter.
I love what Jeff just said, and I think he's absolutely right. I think Johnny is in a position at this point that almost no matter what happens, he's already so far ahead of the game in the public opinion. Everything has swung in his direction. I think whether he wins or loses, he is still in a far better PR position than he was before. From a Hollywood finance and economic standpoint, his specter has been raised so much in the last few weeks because everybody, it's not just the jury, it's all of us watching, whether we're watching it on God forbid, a CNN or something like that, or here on LawTube where you should be watching this stuff. Right. Everybody has largely gravitated towards his side. And I think it's pretty obvious. Like we talked about it last night. What was the biggest hashtag? Out of 1.2 million hashtags, 900,000 of them were hashtag justice for Johnny Depp. I mean, that says it all right there. And I thought it was hilarious that they got that in court. The jury heard that. They know that. I think if he wins, I mean, he will be back in movies. And the thing is with Depp is that he doesn't have to wait around for a large scale studio to get into the game. He can get something financed on his own. He can do something small and independent on his own to get himself back out there. That film's going to do well. It doesn't matter what it is. And then I think once the floodgates start opening up, he'll start getting the phone calls back from the guys like Jerry Bruckheimer. And I think if they make another Pirates of the Caribbean movie without him, I think it's stupid. It's like the Skywalkers in Star Wars. Yeah, you cannot have Star Wars without the Skywalkers. You cannot have pirates without Jack Sparrow. Period.
Well, you've already seen Bruckheimer start to equivocate a bit. Before it was never, ever, ever, and then last week it was, well, not at this juncture, not at this point. I believe is what his most recent thing was. Now, if they made a Pirates 6 at this point, that may very well become one of the largest box office successes in movie history.
If they went and did it as like the swan song there, as the capstone, I think people would go to it just because of this, literally to support Johnny at this point. Yeah. So and once again, Valiant, you talked about yesterday, and guys, go, if you want to really get the entertainment, like we really went hard last night, go check out my last stream, because we really went in on the entertainment stuff last night and really got into it. But Valiant, you were talking about how now the industry is focused on, right now, the entertainment industry is focused on what? Are they focused on super SJW programming and messages, or are they focused on money?
Hey, money. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing it tighten now. And I guess for the audience that wasn't here last night, so just a little snippet of my background. I've spent 20 years in the financial planning industry as a stockbroker, as a financial advisor, as an investment advisor. I'm a money guy. I'm a finance and economics guy, right? So right now, I mean, everybody's talking about, is there going to be a recession and all this kind of stuff? And that may or may not happen as time goes on, that later this year, next year, who knows? We're not there yet. But the point is, we're already seeing the early warning signs of a lot of industry that is just pulling the reins back a little bit. They're tightening up, and I found it interesting in the last few weeks because I cover the business and finance side of Hollywood and the entertainment industry as a hobby here on YouTube. And the first things to go, the first things getting cut everywhere across the board, especially with Netflix right now. And there's more coming in the next month in June. You watch, get ready. There's more coming. The first things they're cutting out left and right is all the SJW, all the woke stuff. That was the easiest thing to go. The minute the money supply had to tighten up, the first most expendable things are always the things with the lowest ROI, the lowest return on investment. And guess what those are? Boom. Right. I said it last night. We talked about What would you rather spend money on? $20 million on making a bunch of, drag queen shows or something like that go on Netflix that maybe a tiny fraction of the population watches?
Right.
Or do you want to
5%?
spend,
Max.
if that,
Max,
or do you want to spend $20 million, which is what they actually spent, on another Squid Game? Which Netflix placed a $1 billion internal
The world will watch
value.
that. I mean, everybody is watching that. Everyone. I mean, that was big over here. I remember.
What was it?
No. But I remember I was in Busan.
Slightly.
I was in Busan in Guangali, and I remember when they were making the what do they call, Jeff? The little ones with the shapes in them. What's that called in Korean? I forget those.
Yeah, not really, guys. I do speak Korean.
Yeah, I swear I speak Korean. The dona or something, or
dalgonas. Yeah, it's like the dalgonas.
Yeah.
Like the sweet cheese.
So
I've only been here 34 years. Don't pressure me.
You're losing your street card. I revoke your card.
Folks in the chat, if you think I sound like that umbrella guy, it must be really early in the morning, which it is here.
That's right.
Because,
Valiant is Tug.
Yeah, I guess
Spread it to the internet.
Yeah, I washed off all the tattoos on my arms.
Despite the fact that they were both on the stream at the same time speaking over each other last night.
Yes.
That is totally irrelevant to the fact that he is also Tug.
I've seen the old Batman and Robin where they had the big reel-to-reel with Batman and Bruce Wayne talking to Commissioner Gordon at the same time. So, hey.
Yep. Nicholas Stero says, if it is true that the Amber Heard defense is paid by her insurance, that means she still hasn't paid her pledge 6 years later. I'm going to tell you one thing. I don't know whether the insurance claim is right or not. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't know about whether her lawyers and defense is paid for by insurance. But I do know that pledge is not fucking getting paid. Those children in LA and the ACLU ain't getting a goddamn dime more
I'm glad
her.
the ACLU is not getting it, but
yeah, they'll get it from Elon. They'll get it from Elon, but not from Amber Heard. So that's the thing. And let me show you guys. Actually, let me catch up on the super chats, and then I want Jeff and Valiant. You guys didn't get a chance to comment on the witness list, so I want you guys to give me your 2.5 cents on that in a second. I think you will have something to say about it. Monkey says, will Amber Heard appeal on the basis she was not given time to do the cross? Is that the reason why they're deliberately wasting the time? Well, is it a grounds for appeal? Yes. I don't, honestly, you never want to, as a lawyer, and Jeff can back me up on this, you never want to bank on an appeal. An appeal is not a sure thing. You don't ever go into a trial saying our main strategy is the appeal. That's like ludicrous. Now, there's certain things you do to preserve stuff for appeal, right? Like raise objections. But you don't go in thinking, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to win this on appeal. No, that's never, an attorney never does that.
I don't even think they would have even a remote chance of appealing it on that basis.
I think they're going to get slaughtered if they try to do that.
I mean, they were fairly warned. Both sides had equal time.
It all depends, though, because in Virginia, obviously, in the Court of Appeals, they've got cases that have been appealed where they've run out of time and still been denied cross, and then the appeal has passed. And Elaine would know that because she practices in Virginia. So,
once again, I think that I'd have to look at those cases, Jordy, because once again, cases are specific. So why were those cases overturned? I don't think this judge would do it if it was per se unconscionable and per se was going to get appealed. Like, no judge is going to have a procedure that is not permissible. So I'm just highly doubtful that if Elaine and the team, and Amber's team, knowingly goes over, that's...
I mean, maybe that's why she's being so reminding about the time and that, because obviously, again, I haven't looked into these specific cases, but it might well be that there wasn't as many reminders of that time and they lost track of their time.
Exactly. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they just put the onus on the attorneys and just were running the clock and didn't tell them at all.
Or they could have given one side more time, extra time, and not gave the other time the same.
Not counted or not took something. You don't know. We have to go into that case law, because I do believe, yes, there's cases in which based on how you do the system, it might not be fair, but there is a fair way to do it. And I also believe that it should be like that. I've seen cases, we've watched cases where one side has gotten grossly more time than the other, especially these criminal cases. And that to me is disgusting and unconscionable. And particularly when the government gets more time in its closing and in its rebuttal than the defense gets in its entirety of its closing. It's disgusting. It's horrible. And when people talk about issues with justice in our legal system, that's one of them. Vutek says, Do they know when they're being recorded? Because I thought I have seen Amber Heard react to the camera when it was focused on her. You know, that's a good question. I mean, if it's a physical camera that's like articulating, like, then I guess you would know. I mean, I guess, but also I think Amber Heard, it's safe to assume that at any point there's a camera pointed at her. So I don't know whether or not she knows.
Well, that'd be a question for one of the on-site guys. Is it just some little hidden remote security camera that's keeping watchers at full-on 2 or 3 studio
camera? That's studio camera that's like moving and articulating.
Where you're gonna have the red light when you're on the air.
I'll put it this way. I have not seen, because I know a little bit about this stuff. I have not seen anything to suggest that these cameras are articulated in any way. I think what they have is what it looks like to me, because I've set this kind of stuff up before with multiple cameras. They just have one in the corner of the courtroom facing one way, one facing the plaintiff, one facing the defendant, and they're kind of switching back and forth. Somebody's in there in a production unit just with a switchboard, just going camera A, camera B, camera C. Now, whether or not those cameras are actually lighting, all 3 of them are always on. It's just a matter of what point do they hit the switcher. I think what's happening with Amber is she's kind of forgetting they're there. Yeah. And then at the right moments, she's realizing that they're catching me right now looking like something. So she'll change her, especially when she was on the stand. I think she started to notice, she remembered, oh, wait, there is one right there. Let me change this expression or do this. I think she just becomes cognizant of it when she knows or she thinks that camera A or whatever is facing her is going to be switched on. But
Yeah,
because I've shot multicam stuff. That's something I do. I've been doing kind of on the side job for years, just as a hobby. So that's probably what
I would just be aware. I would, for both sides. By the way, for Johnny too, I would just let them know. Hey, assume as soon as you get there on site, because by the way, remember when they're driving up, they're being recorded every day, and every day you're seeing Amber drive up the fucking booze. Like Amber drives up in her truck, and people are just booing left and right. Then Johnny drives out. He's got the windows. Johnny's playing reggae. He's waving to everybody. He's doing the presidential.
He cooked them breakfast yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, he literally went out there and cooked the people in line breakfast. So it seems there's reports about it online.
Well, I know that DUI guy and Good Logic and them, they bought like pizzas, right? And Rob did that as well, right? Bought them some pizzas for the line, and the line got fed. So there was some, LawTube was giving some love back, right? Some support back to the line. 2 comments about you, Legal Vices. Daniel Chapman says, love the hat. And Van Ray says, Legal Vices, where'd you get that Dark Souls drip?
Yeah, I've had this since Dark Souls 2, so I can't even remember where I got it. Online somewhere.
Got it. Mexican Iron Man says, so awesome to see you guys slicing and dicing through this from all the legal and pop culture and financial angles. Big fan of you all. Great job. No, thank you for coming through. Appreciate it. It's been good when I've heard you on other channels. So it's good to see, what I love, that other creators can come by and appreciate this content, appreciate what we're doing. And for me on my channel, I like to get all sorts of different perspectives. So I like other lawyers. I like, lay people. Jordy, I mean, you're both a lawyer-esque and a lay person because you have that, but you're also in the UK. So, you've got some weird Queen stuff going on. And then Valiant's got all the financial side as well.
Objection, phrasing.
Objection, compounding.
No, I say objection, unintelligible. That's my favorite. My favorite is unintelligible.
I disagree.
Yeah. I did like that unintelligible objection. That was a good one.
It's like, what is she even trying to fucking say? Like in Camille's face, she has the best faces. Like she literally, you can tell she's just over a lane, like completely over a lane.
Did anybody expect when this trial started that the hot chick, the hot intelligent chick, everybody was going to rally around in this trial would be Camille Vasquez?
You know what? So I will say this. I did point that out. One of the first things you can tell, and people called me out and they're like, "Oh, you're sexist, Andrew." I'm like, I think it is a brilliant move that they put a attractive, sharp female attorney on Johnny's side.
Very smart.
And people could say, "Oh, well, it shouldn't matter." No, fuck you. It matters. There's data on this. There's empirical data that having attractive people do things makes you it's more presentable, more likable. Also, it triggers Amber clearly it triggers Amber.
Especially with the little flirty bits that are happening between Camille and Johnny as well. And they're doing that on purpose to try and rile Amber.
The
100%.
hugging?
Yeah. The hugging, the get in the water, the occasional smiles between them, that kind of you can almost, you've got that flirty sense, but then you've also got the fact that she almost seems like his protectorate. And that must really get under Amber's skin.
Yes. For an abuser and somebody who liked to control him completely, you could tell Amber is not happy. You can see on her face. She's pretty transparent at times. I mean, the mask slips and you see it.
It was very telling, yeah.
Go ahead.
It was very telling yesterday when Amber kept looking back at her sister, according to James, who was in the courtroom. Every time she looked back, she wasn't scanning the gallery. She was looking straight at her sister.
You're not wrong. And don't forget, like from a math perspective, you just run the numbers on this. There's no way, especially in a quote unquote abuse case, I would never want to have a man crossing a female.
It's a bad look.
Victim. Yeah, exactly.
And I will say,
everybody have to have a woman there just for that, if nothing else.
In theory, like let's remove ourselves. Theoretically, it shouldn't matter, right? Like in a theoretical world, it should not matter that a man should be allowed to cross a woman and vice versa, right? That should all be, it shouldn't matter, but it also does in the modern day, right? We can't ignore the fact that for a jury, it's going to come off differently if a man is going hard on a woman about SA, right?
That's what it's all about.
No pun intended, right?
It's about that
Hashtag me poo.
Well, I mean, that's the 2 points I was going to say about
We all know it doesn't matter whether it's a man or a woman for Amber, because as we learned about that Elon Cara Delevingne menage a trois, it was she doesn't seem to care.
Well, I mean, there's just no way you could have had Shu do it. No.
There's
no way you can have those words. You were raped with a bottle and you were bleeding out of your vagina, right? He could never have a man say that. But I agreed with you at the beginning of this that they needed her, but her opening was so bad because she was reading it. I thought, oh, it's clear she's just up there to be the pretty face. This is going to be a disaster. But she brought it. She redeemed herself. Forget because the beginning we've already forgotten about that at this point. That's like past history, at this point. Daniel, this is a good one. I predict a rolling, rambling Elaine will gather no moss. Waka waka waka.
I like this. Ben Ray, this is a great one. Putting the herd and Moss into a strip club terms, Moss is on the main stage. Moss is the main stage girl that everybody is making it rain on and trying to get her into the private room. Herd is the shot girl hanging out with the club's coke dealer.
With a cigarette hanging out of the corner of her mouth.
This is the legal mindset. I love this shit. Thank you guys. This is why you guys are the best chat, because you make me fucking laugh. I'm literally dying right now. That
She'd have auditioned and they'd turned her away.
That's too real. That's too real for me as a citizen of Miami. That is real too real. Jordan T says, I believe Depp's case pivots on the jury's treatment of Amber Heard's sexual abuse allegations. A bridge too far for Amber Heard, I suggest 100%. This case turns on the sexual violence and whether or not they believe the sexual violence is credible or not. If they believe that it's credible, then Johnny loses, right? Because obviously, obviously in Virginia, we spoke about this. The standard for abuse, generic garden variety abuse, includes verbal abuse. And I think there's an interpretation in which you could say that Johnny may have abused her, even if it was retaliatory abuse. Maybe that meets a statutory definition or something like that. Who knows? Whatever.
Well, retaliatory abuse would be classed as self-defense, would it not?
Yes, it should. But once again, you get a jury that's, kind of feeling a certain type of way. And that's the bigger thing about this, I think, is that this really turns on how the jury is feeling about this. We've really gotten past the legal hurdles. The question is, are they going to believe who they believe more, Amber or Johnny at this point?
Well, I think that's the only weakness I can see in the case is the possibility that saying really bad things and you may be considered abuse.
Yeah, I can see that. The verdict, Ryzen says, the verdict may be the only thing to shut up the media. Honestly, I'm going to be real with you. Jordy, I think you were saying this earlier. I don't think the media is going to shut up. I really don't. Like,
Never.
Especially in the UK, Australia, I just don't feel like it's going to shut up.
Yeah, I mean, even if Johnny gets like a landslide victory where Amber completely loses and Johnny wins on all 3 claims, the media are going to spin it to say the system's against women. Amber Heard was stopped from speaking out. Johnny Depp hid behind his lawyer with attorney-client privilege. I mean, they're going to spin it so hard that, I mean, Johnny's probably going to be like, what was the point of even me bringing this case after a while?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Rachel Spain, $7.99. Aussie says, "Oh, Australian solicitor. Oh, awesome. By the way, if you ever want to come on, write me on Twitter because I am looking for an Australian lawyer. I want to talk about the Australian perjury case because I want to get into some of the details on that. I think that would be fascinating." But she says, "What are the cost rules in the U.S.? Will we find out about any settlement offers for standard versus indemnity costs?" First of all, let me be very fucking clear about this. Thank you, Rachel. There's not going to be a settlement here. There's not going to be any settlement here in this case. In terms of costs, I mean, I think as long as, and if you're talking about like attorney's costs or other court costs, I mean, we're essentially a prevailing party. So, I mean, do you have any other thing to add about costs, Jeff?
I honestly don't know how costs would be assessed in this case. Because I think what she's talking to, maybe Jordy can talk to it a little bit further, but where under the Queen's law, they have it's a part 34 offer, part 36 offer, something like that, where you can put a settlement offer in at the beginning as a firm settlement offer. And if you settle at that amount, cool. If your judgment is above the settlement amount, then you have to pay both sides costs.
Correct.
Oh no, we don't have that. We don't do that. We don't do that in America. We got freedom over here. We got freedom to do whatever you want. You can take your settlement. You can go to Texas. You can buy yourself a lot of steers and farm.
One thing I will say is, even if you settle, usually that settlement offer is inclusive of the losing side's legal fees. Yeah.
See, there you go.
So that's the thing that is good about. That's what I like about the cases. But arbitration has their own. It's the same rule as the court cases, where you can say, "Look, we think you're going to get this at 1 month into the trial, or 1 month into the legal proceedings, not the trial." And then the judgment comes down 6 years later, and they say, "Well, gee, you should have settled the first month because they offered you more than you got out of your claims. So therefore, you owe 6 years interest. You owe everybody's cost." And it really is a powerful time to say, let's come to Jesus and really decide if we want to take this to a judgment or not.
Yeah. Slightly related on the terms of finances. 2 questions. And I guess these are kind of directed at Valiant plus the guys, plus both of you for American law. Speculative damages. I didn't think you could claim for those.
Speculative damages?
Yeah, because what I heard yesterday from Catherine was an awful lot of speculative damages.
Yes, you cannot claim speculative damages. You need to prove their actual damages, not speculative damages. However, they were trying to give a theory, right? So you can...
I get loss of opportunity. Loss of opportunity is obviously a thing.
See, that's the point exactly. Like, there's a line between speculation and loss of opportunity. I know that like that thread is hard to articulate, and I don't want to get lost trying to get into the minutia of that. But if you're able to articulate an economic loss, a future economic loss, you can recover for that. But that seems a lot like speculation, right? But there's a line between that, right? There needs to be a theory of damages. And by the way, this is why damages are often challenged, is because the theory that they use, like whatever formula or algorithm they're using, is bunk. And you'd bring in a financial expert. Maybe if it's entertainment, I could bring in Valiant. I'd say, hey, Valiant, are these numbers that Amber's claiming $100 million for her future worth in Hollywood? Is that legitimate? Is that a legitimate theory? And he's shaking his head right there, right?
No, like if I can remember back into the dark ages, if I recall correctly, there needs to be reasonably provable damages and at least approximate cause. That was the big old the old wagon wheel thing where the wagon wheel breaks down and that causes the grain production to stop, which causes lost profits. And they're like, Hadley v. Baxendale, that's what it was. There was too far remote, so the lost profits can't be claimed. Right. There has to be the causality and
there's a limit. There's a limit,
a calculable amount.
If she had other contracts, so like what Catherine Arnold was talking about yesterday, and we kind of discussed a little bit on this last night. And people in the chat still think I sound like Tug. It is really early in the morning. If my voice is going that high pitched,
he's Tug. He's doxed. It's Tug. We got him.
Because it's I got up at 4:30 in the morning for this shit. But no. The point is that they talked about specifically yesterday with as far as Amber's contracts. She had her original contract with Warner Brothers. Okay, $1 million for the first Aquaman movie. Don't know what Justice League was. I don't even think they threw that on the table. She was in that movie for 55 seconds of screen time. So that was probably a starter contract. Maybe she got a few $100,000, a little SAG minimum there for that just to get her in the door. But she got $1 million for the first Aquaman. Mm-hmm. She had an option in that contract for Aquaman 2 that if they popped the option and filmed Aquaman 2, which obviously they did, she would get $2 million for that. To my knowledge, to my understanding, I don't believe there's anything beyond that. So if you're going to claim actual damages in this case, if you're going to look at the actual financial or economic impact, you'd have to say, well, Warner Brothers and Walter Hamada had contracted her for 3 and 4 and 5 movies. Okay, we're talking about like a Robert Downey Jr. kind of thing, right? So which you don't have to be a Robert Downey Jr. to have a 3, 4, 5 option picture contract. It just, you had that with other. Think about back when the MCU started, they kind of optioned some of these guys like RDJ or Chris Evans to be there for several movies. So let's say she filmed 2 of them, Aquaman 1 and 2, and then this happened. And then they decided not to pull her options that they had already contracted her for. They decided not to pop the options on it. And she didn't get 3 million, 4 million, and 5 million for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th picture. Then I would think you could go in and I could make the financial argument and saying, well, look, she should have been in this. She was already on paper. She had this option ready to go. Just think about any NFL player or basketball player, baseball player. Right. They have options in their contract to be popped for, hey, we're gonna exercise your 5th-year rookie option. They decide not to take it. Right. And because the player was damaged or something like that. Same thing here. We can actually prove real damages. I don't think that's going on. What they're trying to do is speculate that, well, if this movie, if she was in this movie, if this movie was a success, and if this happened, and if that happened, and if this and that, well, I can say like, well, I can claim damages as, for my financial planning practice by saying, well, I can't practice anymore. And I was going to get 20 new clients next year that were that all were going to bring me $10 million or whatever. I can make shit up all the time.
The more ifs you add to the chain, the more if, the less likely you are to recover. And she's on like 6 levels of if to get to Amber Heard equals Jason Momoa, which, by the way, is the argument they tried to make with a straight face. That Jason Momoa was comparable, star to Amber Heard, which was literally ridiculous.
Not even
let me bring up another star here because this is a good super chat. And to keep these moving, Easy07 for £5 says Kate Moss has been showbiz a long time. Could she be used for more than a Depp rebuttal? So yes, but no. So here's what I'm going to say. Yes, they can ask her about other things. Shit, they can ask her about showbiz. Do I think that's a smart use of her time? No. Especially since, and I want to show you Valiant. I don't think you had a chance to look at the witness list here, but I think you're going to be happy about it because this is what they had right here. So this is part of it. The rebuttal witnesses here. You have Kate Moss, Brian Neumeister, Morgan, Lydia, Shannon Curry, and Depp. This is actually probably the end of the list, but the beginning of the list, you have Shaw, Collins, Goldbrun, and your boy here, Walter Hamada. So yeah, I think you're going to have...
Are they really going to actually have Hamada live on the stand?
I don't know whether I'm live or by Skype, but
I mean, not a pre-recorded depo.
I don't think you can pre-record things at this point because you need them to answer specific questions.
Counter to rebut. I think you've got to bring these guys live via Skype. No, I think to me, Skype is better than the video depo, but what do you think? Do you think that would be good via Skype? Do you think that testimony is going to come out solid for Johnny?
Me? Oh, yes.
Yeah, you.
No, look, I perked up. Now, like I said, we talked about this last night with Catherine Arnold, this quote-unquote Hollywood expert that didn't know shit, apparently.
Doesn't watch movies.
Doesn't watch any popular movies and know literally the most famous actors out there, yes.
Her reputation as an expert witness on this subject matter is probably shot to shit. I'm not even kidding. Apparently, she's been doing this a while. But that question that Dennison asked her, when he specifically asked, who do you think would know better about how this contract situation was handled, you or Walter Hamada? And I was like, I went, oh shit, yeah. I'm like, yes. So if he's coming in, I'm like, I'm all now. Whether or not Hamada is around much longer, if he still is, I don't remember at Warner Brothers because, like I said last night, David Zaslav is cleaning house over there. But he's.
But wouldn't that lead to? Because someone brought this up earlier. Wouldn't that lead to if they're cleaning house at Warner Brothers? He's trying not to get fired, right? And the last thing you want to say on the stand is, "Yeah, we should have paid her more."
Well, it's not just, I don't look, they're calling him knowing that she had a contract. Her option was for $2 million. She could have come in there and to this point, Catherine was correct saying that, well, standard practice is to go in and renegotiate contracts. Again, we see this in American professional athletes all the time. They're in the middle of their contract. They have a breakout year. They try to go back and renegotiate it. That doesn't mean that they're successful at it. And that's what the defense was trying to make a point to the jury. It's like, yeah, well, sure, you can come in and renegotiate, but that doesn't mean it was going to happen. And the chances that they were going to go ahead and renegotiate Amber's contract for what, $4, $5, $6 million, same pay as Jason Momoa, bullshit. That wasn't going to happen because, like I said last night, I don't even think the character Mira in the DC universe, she doesn't even have her own comic book to my knowledge. She never has. So,
no,
I mean,
I can confirm. I've read a lot of DC comics. There are, to my knowledge, there's no Mirror comics.
There you go. So I mean, so they can say what they wanted to do, all they want, and it's another layer of if, like you were saying before, Andrew, just another if. Again, it doesn't mean it was going to happen, and I doubt it would have. And I think that's what Hamada is going to be there to testify to. It's like, look, we had a contract with Amber. This was all she was going to get. This is it. We had no future plans after this because we don't know what was going to happen with these films. We were very pleased with the success of the first Aquaman film, and I'm sure Walter Hamada was. That was the biggest thing that he managed to pull off in the DCEU post Chris Nolan Batman trilogy, right? But I don't see anything beyond that, but it's going to be fascinating. I will be fascinated. I will absolutely be very attentive to that testimony because that is going to be very interesting.
And I think we're looking at a lot of potentially interesting testimony coming up here. There's this good question which Susan asked, why haven't the experts been asked how often addicts are victims of violence? I have worked drug rehab and they frequently are victims. Yes, people frequently
on stereotypes.
Exactly. Thank you, Jordy. They're playing on stereotypes.
It's the best thing to do with a jury, though. I mean, the jury are supposed to be lay people, so you play on stereotypes because that's what those people are potentially going to think predominantly in their mind about people who abuse drugs anyway. So I can understand why play on it, but you shouldn't play on stereotypes.
Especially with an Asian jury. They might try to say, because I mean, Jeff can say this, I mean, in Korean, right? There's no word, like, for example, when I was talking, there's no word to like differentiate between like certain different types of drugs. Like if I want to say like marijuana, you just use the word for drugs, right? In general. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So like there's a very negative perception, especially in East Asia, like drugs are like just bad, right? So in general. So if you're looking at the jury that's majority Asian and you're like, we got to trigger these Asians. How are we going to do this? Let's talk about drugs. It's a risky ass strategy to do that because you get, you realize that some people, growing up in America, different backgrounds nowadays, especially very young people. And let me tell you, a lot of these people, a lot of these ABGs that I know from the US, they're doing MDMA and Molly at these festivals like left and right. They know exactly what you do on MDMA, and it's not push somebody, stab them, abuse them, whatever. No matter how many MDMAs you're on, you're not like getting violent with somebody. That's not something that typically is happening with MDMA. Bath salts maybe, but not MDMA. Suffolk's
nice bath salt blast.
I love this. Oh man, I'm from Florida.
You're from Florida, yeah.
We had two different incidents. The one where the bum,
the highway cannibal,
that ate somebody's, and then the guy who actually, and it was near Tallahassee, where he actually killed a couple people on bath salts, including like I think a family member. It was real bad. Like it was real bad. That's some Florida level shit. Suffolk says, why haven't they brought up the effects of COVID? I mean, I don't know whether you're serious or not. Like what effects?
Because it postponed a lot of film shooting and things like that. So COVID would naturally have affected her and Johnny's earnings. I can understand why, but I believe, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the time frame Catherine covered was 18 to 20. I don't think she covered 18 through 22. I think she was predominantly covering 18 through 20 and projecting from 20 because 20 was, I guess, the UK court case and the statements and things like that. So that's the scope that her team had probably committed her to.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would have muddied the waters because you got to remember a lot of the movies that are coming out right now, like this weekend, Top Gun Maverick, right?
Yes.
That movie has been in the can for 2 years.
Yeah.
Done.
Yes.
Completed and it's been sitting waiting to release for almost 2 years because of that. So all the stuff that would have happened, from early 2020 to now, the last 2 years, you're talking about there's a huge lag there, and that would have been after. I think it would have muddied the waters, and I think that's why I think that's why both sides have stayed away from it, because it's not necessary. All of this occurred before that point and leading up to that point. I'm a little surprised that they haven't mentioned it at all to this moment, but neither side has brought that up with COVID production delays for Hollywood studios. So.
Okay, very good. Let me burn through a couple of these so we can catch up and get to the next section. So Suffolk 220 SEK says, okay, let's talk about why Valiant sounds like Tug. Rachel Dixon says, there have been rumors of Robert Downey Jr. showing support for Johnny by including him in a blockbuster production. Any clarification? Rachel Dixon. I don't know. Have you heard about any productions with Robert Downey Jr.? Because I know that Robert Downey Jr. did make a statement of support to
there are
Johnny?
lots of articles on Johnny being in some movie that's being produced by RDJ, so it wouldn't surprise me if that was true at all.
Okay. I mean, yeah, and if it is okay, that's fine.
The quick answer is they've been friends for years, number one. And number two, RDJ went through a similar thing with drug and alcohol rehabilitation. Jon Favreau was the man who bailed him out, convinced Marvel to put him in as Tony Stark. RDJ has kind of lived this, so it makes total sense. He's trying to reach out to his friend who's going through this similar thing to what he was, minus all these allegations, to try to help him climb back up. I get it. Yeah, and I think it's probably legit.
I believe it's the new Sherlock film, as people are saying in the chat. That's the rumors I've heard as well, the new Sherlock film, which I am absolutely buzzing for. I love everything Sherlock.
Yeah. Well, now, like I said, now this would get huge. I mean, if Robert Downey Jr. and Johnny Depp do a film, that will get money. That will make money.
And I mean, if he's working on that already, I'm surprised that Amber's team haven't brought that up to try and rebut some of Johnny's damages. He's actively working on what should be a fairly decent pull-in film.
Exactly. Rosie Ruth says, I say Johnny's team needs to have a bottle sitting on their desk. The jury can see how unrealistic it is. That would be a super, super, super aggressive move, but it would send a certain point. Cheyenne Vijovic says, hello from Australia. Hello. A shout to everybody down under. I'm really loving like the Australians and the Kiwis and the UK people. Guys, make sure you're sharing this out there, because from what I hear, your media is kind of telling a different story than we tell here on the Legal Mindset. We got one from Matt Oxley for 5 Aussie, which says, watching Depp and Ben ponder over why Spiggs was trying to lick his own forehead on the stand was absolutely priceless. Yeah, Dr. Nosferatu's mouth movements were freaking weird. Katarina for 14 Aussie says, that Dr. Schmiegel, man, very unintelligible, a crack up, had me in stitches, especially Ben JD's face, a laughing emoji. JD's lulls and doodles are a symptom of narcissism, and she's laughing about that, laughing emoji. Camille grabs a lolly, weird lip movements. And Camille actually did this kind of like, I think Camille did an alpha move there, where she, when the doctor was saying that I think candy or something like that was a sign of narcissism, she literally opened up one and ate it herself, like, which was just a great move and kind of covered for Johnny. It's like, okay, you're gonna call him that, I'm gonna do it too, fuck you. So that it goes back to that she's taking that role as a protector, that protector role alongside Johnny, that she is standing up for Johnny and she is kind of covering for Johnny, as your attorney should be. You should view your attorney as somebody who you trust and will protect you in court. Catherine, 2 British pounds, says, but someone like Elaine couldn't do cross style. Yeah, Elaine can't do much of anything. Cookie Cat, 5 pounds, says,
she can. Never mind.
Did Elaine call the psych doctor, Dr. Siegel? Did she actually say that? Did she say Dr. Siegel?
She did at one point, yep.
Oh, yeah?
Okay,
it was
like
quite
a
amusing.
slip.
Yeah, it was a slip of the tongue,
Really?
and I think she immediately corrected herself afterwards.
Well, she also called Ellen Barkin Mr. Barkin, too, so that was...
There you
That was hilarious.
Vin Ray says $5 super chat. It's okay, Valiant. You can admit to lip syncing to a tug recording. It's perfectly okay.
I'm not going to fight it at this point. It's fine.
It's pretty fine. Blue-eyed Roof Korean the Based for $5 says, "Hey Valiant, love to see the crossover. I would love to see a LawTube fandom fellowship collab. Have Tom and Andrea invite LawTube to some panels." No, I collab with a lot of. I try to collab more, and I'm glad Valiant reached out to me. We destroyed Disney on their like ridiculous, the mainstream media, the way they did this whole Reedy Creek thing with their special district, a little fake city. We nuked them from orbit, and they were trying to cope so hard. The copium was like maximum. But it was great. And I'm so glad he reached out to me, and it's a good collaboration. And I plan to collaborate more with people who are in other fields, because these things all come together to affect the law, pop culture, business, just generally celebrities. These end up affecting the law. Trust me, guys, this case will affect the law. It'll affect how we perceive the law, how juries are perceived, the process, right? All of it will go on to have impacts into the future, especially since so many eyeballs are on this. People are looking at this and they're making a judgment of whether or not the U.S. legal system is fair or not, whether or not people can get justice in our legal system. And that's why I think these cases are so important. 199 from Patricia Smith. DeWatt Nagal says, Terrence Howard was second with Robert Downey in Iron Man. They dropped and replaced him because they wanted to pay him less, and he refused the officer. Amber should get fridged in Aquaman too. So you're pointing. Is this 100% facts, Valiant?
Yes, that's one of the reasons why he got replaced with and I just blanked out when they replaced Rhodey, right? We had a new Rhodey after the second one, and that's why. It's because like he wanted more money, and they were like, no, we're going to keep the contract as he was trying to renegotiate, and they told him no.
I mean, there are so many side characters within the superhero world that have tried to renegotiate and been replaced, and I don't get why like Johnny's team hasn't brought that up as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Wendy Wilburn says, new subscriber here. Welcome, Wendy. I'm really enjoying your channel. Is it normal or fair for a judge to set a time limit? I'm a trial junkie, but can't remember ever hearing that out loud. Well, here's the one thing I understand. We got 50 states, and then within that, we got more jurisdictions. Each literally circuit, which can be the county, right down to the county in a state, can have different rules. In fact, judges themselves can have different rules, and they can administer those rules differently. So we cannot say as lawyers whether or not it's necessarily normal, because, for example, in Florida, that doesn't happen, right? There's not like strict time limits where there's a shot clock. However, does that mean the judges aren't paying attention to that? Because couldn't it get to the point where it's unconscionable, where it's unfair? Yes, absolutely. So I think that's something that can be dealt with differently in different states. Jeff, do you have any take on that in terms of
I've personally never seen a case with a time limit, but I kind of like the idea because
I like it too.
Okay, we have to set away 4 to 8 weeks for this trial. Now they're going to be done May 27th, 5 p.m. The predictability is there. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with a huge case like this, you have to, though, or else both sides could be dragging witness and after witness after witness, and it could go on for 6 months.
Jordy, have you ever seen that in the UK? Do they do that at all, like any sort of time management?
So Nickel, I believe, set a 10-week limit on the UK trial. But again, it's very dependent. Like in the lower down courts, it doesn't happen. It's pretty much unknown in the magistrates, for example.
Claudia Z says, with Australian 1499, says, people that have been review bombing Amber Heard's witnesses' place of business need to stop. Could backfire badly. Give the Amber Heard team something they can manipulate into their own agenda. Yes. And here's the other thing, guys. Welcome to the world of fighting this, fighting these crazy battles and dealing with this. Here's the thing you really have to think about. And I'm going to inception you real quick, but you have to always think about this. Could it be that some of those reviews were placed on the witnesses by Amber Heard's team intentionally to show that, hey, these people are ists and phobes and bigots and misogynists? Is it possible that they could do that sort of false flag attack against their own witnesses?
That never happens.
Fucking thought.
It's crazy.
I mean, not only is it possible, you've got to think that at least 25% of the reviews, of the reviews being left are by people from Team AH that are seeing their witnesses tank AH's case. Guaranteed.
Yeah. So Just remember to think about these things, guys. I know it's crazy. I know it's hard because you just want to read information and take it at face value. But frankly, particularly with the mainstream media, you cannot do that anymore. You're seeing what they're doing on Amber Heard, and they do this all the time. They misrepresent data. They may have selected data very specifically, select specific responses. They're only looking at the negative comments, not the positive comments, all sorts of stuff like that. That is standard.
And what I will say about data is try and fact check it. It is so easy to especially even if they're not putting references in their articles to where the data's come from, which most of the time they're not. But it is so easy to go and fact check data in articles in the news and see how close to reality it is. It's nowadays it's just a simple Google search. I mean, people like me go into more detail and will try and find the actual back end data that goes into it. But even a Google search can show that most statistics are misrepresented in MSM.
Yeah, for sure. Canon Hotep, salute coming through to show the show some love. Thank you. We've talked about Second Amendment stuff all the time, but I appreciate you coming through and giving some love, even though this isn't your area of interest. And that's the whole thing with this case. People are coming through and they're talking about issues that I think they normally wouldn't be interested in, but now they're interested in it, which is great. Appleby sends £1 here. Thank you so much. Daniel, I put it to you, Your Honor, that Robert Downey Jr. went through the same lived experience. However, RDJ didn't have Amber and bounced back in a massive way. Telling factor?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, yeah, it's like you're not wrong. I mean, you're definitely not wrong there. Mm-hmm. Talking about Amber Heard feeding Johnny Xanax while he was drunk. That's possible. Once again, it's a theory, right? President-elect 4 doors more horse. Amber's team claimed COVID only hurt Amber Heard and not Johnny Depp.
Oh, I didn't catch that. If they actually brought it up, I missed that part.
Did they? Yeah, I didn't catch that part either.
Yeah, I must have missed that one.
I was well into my cups at that point, but I seem to recall something about that, how he wasn't doing anything at the beginning of 2020, and she had all of these opportunities open to her, so therefore COVID hurt her.
The one thing I hate about her opportunities is she had auditioned for roles and they were counting those roles as being given to her. And I'm like, no, she would have probably failed those auditions maybe.
Yeah, that's when she made the comment, you can't know what you haven't been offered.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
That was a macro level event for Hollywood. So bringing it up, I mean, it wouldn't have made much sense because it literally affected everybody in Hollywood, exactly, just like everywhere else, but it affected every actor out there in Hollywood pretty much the same way. So it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. So it wouldn't really matter. Okay, here's a good one. Avani with the 899 rupees says, could allegations of racism against Walter Hamada be brought up by Amber Heard's side during You're laughing. Ray Fisher suggested Hamada and the Warner brother tried to destroy a black man's credibility. I actually didn't know about this. So what is he accused of? What is he accused of? He's accused of racism? No. I mean, everybody's racist. By the way, we're all, according to Vogue, Vox, and the New York Post, we are all white nationalists, misogynists, Russian bots that are extremists. We're extremely far right. We're horrible people. But go ahead. How is Walter Hamada specifically horrible?
He's apart from just making a mess of the DCEU. No, I don't think he's. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because that was the best. The very short version is Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg in the DCEU films. Okay, the black actor. He was mad after Zack Snyder left because he really didn't get along with Joss Whedon, who they brought in from the MCU to complete the Justice League movie after Snyder left. Okay. Whedon has a reputation of being an asshole to everybody in Hollywood.
Joss Whedon is a dick, usually.
He is a dick. And so Fisher, he accused him of all kind of stuff, including that. And I think he threw a little shade Hamada's way for not dealing with Joss Whedon in the way that Fisher. The problem is Fisher never really, he spent 2 years talking about it, just saying how upset he was, and he never really, quote unquote, showed the receipts. So I don't. That's not going to come up against Walter Hamada. I mean, that's just, maybe Fisher was right, maybe he's lying. I don't know, but nothing. It was just him jaw jacking for a while. He basically tanked his career after that. I mean, nobody's hired Ray Fisher since because he can't stop. He can't shut up about it.
Yeah, that's a problem. When you make these allegations, when you call these things out, you become toxic. I think Amber Heard in this case, she's put herself in a certain type of way where she's now unhirable because what she did, what she said, and the allegations she's made, she's unhirable. Nobody's going to work with her anymore. I am a Charlotte. Hi from the UK. Does anyone else die inside a bit every time Elaine says, what if anything? That is the merch, is what if anything, guys. Milo's 3D says, wasn't Amber eating in court back in the UK? How can Amber's lawyers try and call JD out for that? They can do whatever they want. They're very hypocritical. We've seen this. This whole thing is projection. It's all Amber projecting, so why not project that onto Johnny? Once again, it is Johnny is twice as horrible as I am. Johnny, I'm owed twice the money Johnny's owed. That's all this case ever has been and will be from Amber's perspective. Christopher Dilo says, didn't the movie executive break some rules about talking about scenes from Aquaman 2 while testifying? So I guess he leaked
she'd have
scenes?
been. I think they're probably on about Catherine, because Catherine was talking about.
So Catherine talked about the scenes,
but Catherine wouldn't be under NDA because I don't think Catherine has anything directly to do with it. So what she said is hearsay. She is saying parts of the movie based on maybe parts of the script she's read from the agency and things like that. So
she doesn't know what's getting cut, though. At the end of the day, she has no say over the cut. And as we know from many movies, you can have entire actors whose role is cut out. That happens all the time, where you have a part and it gets cut out because they don't like it, doesn't fit, whatever, or maybe that actor has a problem or is controversial and they cut their part out. That happens all the time. Vicky Harrison says, Dr. Schmiegel, Lemony Snicket, eat your heart out. Are the masochists, man? Your Dark Souls shirt gets love, man. Loving the dark shirt, Jeff. Literally, I think it's the most loved shirt I've had on my stream so far. Suffolk
thought
says,
I'd ever be a fashion icon.
Take what you can get on YouTube, man.
Oh man, you know Jeff with his K-pop style. Elaine, start drinking Elaine, start new drinking game. Drink what, if any? No, nobody's gonna play that one. You'll all die.
Even I wouldn't do that.
You'll all die. You'll literally
5 minutes. You'll be roasted.
Aussie for 5 Aussie says, so Aussie says, is what, if anything, an American dialect? It's a question. I mean, I don't think it's particularly an American question.
It's an Elaine dialect.
Yeah. Elaine says that. I don't use that shit all the time. You know, that's something I would never regularly say as part of my conversation, but yeah. Elaine is a weirdo. Alana Burns says there's video of Elaine and Dr. Spiegel whispering prior to his testimony. And it's clear that he's asking her if he's allowed to lie on the stand. You seen? Alana, rewind to the beginning of this. You clearly joined late, which is fine. By the way, there's 8,377 of you. Please, if you like this content, I'm not asking for much. Even if you don't have to super, whatever, just smash the like button, okay? Just literally take 2 seconds out of your time right now. Please, please, please click the like button. Alana, if you want to scroll back to the beginning, we went over all the audio for that. It's there. It's in the beginning. So if you want to see this testimony, I'm telling you now, I know this is going to be asked about all day today. I'm the first person who's doing it in the morning Eastern time, the first person who's live here. I'm going to tell you right now, go forward, rewind. There is a chance that instead of saying lie, that he is saying relie, which if it's information or evidence he's relying on, that makes sense. Lying is different, right? And I think it's kind of sus that he would say lying in court. Now, is it possible? Yes. But...
well, this is the guy that asked the brilliant question. Do I have to answer that question? Yeah.
Worst
yes,
witness.
You do, Mr. Expert Witness.
Worst witness ever. Literally worst witness ever.
Like, another thing
Go
about
ahead.
Catherine was they reckon she's an expert witness, yet she turned around and said, oh, I'm just getting my head around this whole trial thing. And it's like, just trying to get your head around it. And you are an expert witness who's apparently done hundreds of trials and testimonies. No.
Right. Right.
But I will say she's the first expert witness I've ever actually say in her job description, I am this and I'm an expert witness. Expert witnesses don't want to say I'm an expert witness because that means I'm a hired gun.
I showed him, it's all over her website. She has a whole page of all the cases she's worked on her website.
Yeah. Catherine Arnold.
And her website is,
hold on, I'll pull it up real quick.
The Hollywood expert, or there's something like that. That's the actual title of her website. No, she's very proud of that job description.
She's so open-minded, she's guaranteed never to have seen your movie.
I mean, at least Amber's witnesses are displaying the same personality traits as Amber. They're all egotistical.
No, we've
Yeah,
talked
they're-
about that. How Johnny's
fucking
team
nuts.
is all attractive, well dressed, well put together.
Here it is.
Hers are
Here it is,
all-
guys. Here's her case. Oh, I didn't see her little
Wait,
dating
go
profile
back to
she's got
that.
here. Let's go back.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah.
See your
This is her-
OnlyFans page here.
This is it looks like it really does. It really does. Oh, she's fluent in French and she lived in France, Italy, and Mexico.
Objection, speculation.
Yeah. I've had the pleasure of pursuing a very interesting and diverse career. I'm sure you have. That is straddled. Once
Straddled
again,
the
we know what you straddled.
She has straddled the studio heads of all.
Studio and independent film worlds. Yep. Wasn't Weinstein around at that point? Started out as an executive at the Maltese companies. I worked on television and feature film products financed by Wall Street ad agencies. In that capacity, I oversaw the production of Pound Puppies, The Legacies of the Big Paw, an animated feature produced by Kushner Locke, and was an executive associate producer on Manhunt Live, The Search for the Green River Serial Murderer, a live special with Patrick Duffy. Look at this. This is kind of interesting based on what you said. I didn't read this part about it. So at Goobers Peters Entertainment, I was involved in the development of feature films with the company that produced Rain Man, Batman, Tango and Cash. So I remember her saying that she didn't know shit about Batman, but she worked for the company that produced Batman. Her credibility is shot.
Did she
I'm
mention
sorry.
Batman? She
She
mentioned
was asked
Tango and
about it.
Cash. She mentioned
She
Tango and
said
Cash.
she didn't know who was in the Batman movies.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like at the beginning when she was doing her CV, she mentioned Tango and Cash. She
A
mentioned
bunch
Rain
of movies
Man.
I'd never heard of as well.
And I don't
Yeah.
recall her saying Batman. But
Like the
Sketch.
actors she named off, I was like, who on earth are these actors?
Oh, the
Exactly.
Independent did a great thing the other day. It was the list of all of the Hollywood celebrities that have supported Amber Heard. 5. It was like Howard Stern,
Oh, God. He's off
Ellen
the edge.
Barkin, and like 2 people I honest to God never heard of, and someone
Do they even
who-
qualify as celebrities anymore?
And half of them,
Yeah.
it's not really support. Even of those 5, like
Yeah.
half of them, it's not support. It's just like they said something that could plausibly interpreted as in Amber Heard's favor, but it's not a clear sign. 4 Doors More Horrors says the pertinent recasting would be comparing Katie Holmes being recast to Maggie Gyllenhaal between Batman movies due to concerns it was a flop.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
not
that's
bad.
reasonable, yeah.
I can see that. Thoughts on linking a blue-eyed roof comedian in the base? Thoughts on linking the law tube to the Phantom Menace? I think we're already there. Like, I mean, I go on Flashcast. Ricada does as well. Like, we're all friends. Like, and we talk. Like, I was on with Gary the other day. Like, we're all friends. And if there's collaborations, we collaborate. The point is, we're content creators. We love to collaborate, and we are going to collaborate when we see an opportunity to do that. And frankly, I just like hanging out with these guys. So I love just come over and shoot the shit. To me, that's just fun. And, that's what I love about YouTube and this community is that we all build together and we grow together. Mandalore Wise says, I'm getting Vagrant sounds like Tug, but anyone tell Jordy that he sounds like a popular Minecraft YouTuber?
I think, yeah,
Jordy.
you mean Valiant sounds like Tug. I get it.
Jordy, do you secretly do Minecraft?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
I hate Minecraft.
Okay. Well, now you've got, you're going to have some haters. now.
Plausible
Like
deniability.
You're gonna have
Minecraft.
some haters. You're gonna have some haters. Suffolk says the Xanax incident was in one of the audios. Well, also, I don't know if you guys caught this, but Amber Heard definitely popped a pill during the trial at one point. Now it could have
I
been
mean, it
an
might have been
innocuous
mint.
pill.
She's done a lot of
Could've been a
sus
mint.
stuff.
Could have been a mint. Could have been a mint. That's very right. Could have been anything.
That's a
but-
sign of narcissism, eating
I was going
candy.
to say she's narcissistic. She's eating in court.
Welcome to tonight's game
Surprise!
show. Is it
Yeah.
a Tic Tac or Prozac? Guess now in the chat.
Is it Coke or
Is it
snot?
Is it narcissism or bad breath? $10. Ozzy, thank you so much. And Daniel says Johnny was asked how COVID impacted his career, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it.
I see what you did there.
Oh, my God.
Uh,
Ride by Nature, 2 pounds. Says Spiegel looks like the vulture from the Muppets. I think it looks like Sam Eagle,
yeah.
right? Definitely.
He looks
Sam
like
Eagle.
that character from Phineas and Ferb as well. I can't remember.
For
I
sure.
don't know the name of the character, but
Oh
yeah.
God!
Well, we had the
They're
whole
gonna say it in
gamut.
the
Rick
chat.
and Morty,
It's Dr.
Rick and Morty, and,
Doofin something.
Dr.
something?
Doofenshmirtz or something like that.
Doofenshmirtz or something
Yeah, I
like that.
saw that yesterday too. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone was posting that, sending that to me. John Yarber 07, who I now know how to pronounce this name. Fisher tried to do the Me Too, but that's only a weapon for women. Silly rabbit. Well, I think what's going to happen now is we're going to have people, and hopefully this trial has already opened it up, that men will feel comfortable coming forward I think men need to feel comfortable coming forward. I like the hashtag men too. This should not be a gender issue. Abuse should be an issue. That abuse is abuse. And every case, regardless of gender, should be taken very seriously and not be thrown out or dismissed or laughed out because it happens to be a guy who's bringing the claim and they have to be bringing it against a woman. Appleby, $5 says, "Hi guys from Italy. Love you all. Any info on Tim Burton's casting JD in the Addams Family show on Netflix?" Valiant, have you heard about that?
I mean, I don't know.
I think it was scuttlebutt. That was a rumor there, right? But,
well, no. I mean, they made a new version of the Munsters. Addams Family was on deck. I don't know about casting JD. Now, look, if this trial goes well for him and things are cleared up and he's back in the public spotlight again positively, which it looks like he is. Then sure, I think it's totally possible. I mean, him and Burton have been friends since forever.
I was going to say, they've got a really good relationship, so that wouldn't surprise me at all if everything goes Johnny's way.
Yeah. Adam B72 says, 449 pounds says, "Moving to Abu Dhabi next month. Hopefully see you for a drink in Dubai when you move there." Yeah, I'm hoping to go there for residency this year. Of course, like with my kind of 5 flag strategy, I'll probably only spend a certain percentage of time. I won't be there all year round, but I want to try to set up a company there because I like their corporate tax structure. It is quite nice in Dubai. Next, we've got Zachary, which says, "I bet you the old Amber Heard travels in excess of the posted speed limit on the roads in her car."
What, you mean a bugged Tesla?
Yeah, her bugged Tesla. No, you're right, though. You're 100% right. Mike Larkin, I'm reading this one because I kind of missed where it is in the chat. Mike Larkin with 10 Australian says, "Hi from Australia. Will Whitney appear further? Clearly she lied." No. I think that Johnny's side would be idiotic to call her as a witness. What do you think about that, Jeff? Do you think Johnny's side would call Aunt Whitney?
I can't imagine why. Because they're going to get everything they need out of other witnesses.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything you could get from Whitney. Like, I don't know what information you could try to get from Whitney that you wouldn't get somewhere else. It just doesn't make much sense to me. Pastor Flash, 10 Australian says, "Valiant. I mean, Tug released a new video with confirmation, fired, and blacklisted by Warner Boss."
Oh, he's talking about Ray Fisher and Walter Hamada. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I think you're right. I mean, I know. Look, Ray Fisher did get himself largely blacklisted, no pun intended, in Hollywood just because, like I said, he would not shut his. He just kept going after like everybody, all the high level people.
You can't do that. You literally can't do that. You can't like sue people and then expect they're just going to start hiring you and feel comfortable working with you. That's not a thing. Or you can't file complaints or whatever and expect that, especially if they're unjustified. Now, if they're justified, that's different. Definitely file the complaint. But there should be punishments and there should be backlash, I believe, for false claims. Cookie Cat, she's an expert witness, but was getting used to court. I think you're talking about what, Hollywood Karen, the Catherine Arnold.
Catherine Arnold, I guess.
Yeah. I guess she just hasn't been challenged in court. Like I was trying to come to a theory why she sucks so hard.
That's what I thought it was. I don't think she's ever been crossed like that. Like like they came up and they knew they went and researched all these films, who was in it. Blah blah blah, and she just looked like she was deer in the headlights. It was terrible for her.
I think she's used to just being taken at first value. Like literally, like nobody really questions her. They just take it as perfunctory. Like a lot of these cases, damages are an afterthought, right? And they're kind of easy to prove. This one, because it's so speculative, because it's if, you're gonna get hard questions because it's ridiculous theory of damages. David Z, $20 says, "Did anyone notice that Dr. Oddball blew a fuse with the Wonka?" Yes.
No,
yes.
Nobody noticed that.
Nobody saw that.
Literally, Jeff was freaking out. Jeff was like reacting on screen. There's actually a photo of us, Jeff. I have to find it, but
all 4 of us were just like, faces.
Like what the fuck?
Oh yeah, somebody just reposted it on Twitter a little while ago. I saw it again.
Yeah, exactly. He made the "I need a hit" face. Yes, because everyone said that he's self-medicated much. Really creepy. The hand doctor was giving the hand jive BS. Yeah. I'm enjoying this show. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you're having fun. Honestly, I don't know where they get this cast of weirdos. This is like literally the weirdest squad of expert witnesses I've seen. Typically, you'd have 1 or 2 that are likable or presentable, but these are like the creeps of expert testimony.
Well, there's something interesting that I've noticed. I probably after the Rittenhouse trial, but it seems that there's something about American speech pattern now that drives me up a wall, where every time someone starts a sentence, they say, well, so we did this. What did you do this? Well, they start every
You've been in
sentence
Korea
with,
too long, brother.
It drives me nuts.
Speaking of which, here it is. Here's the picture, guys. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here, guys. But yeah, this is classic because this is such a compilation because it's Law 2+. So you got Rekieta flipping out. You got this guy. Jeff is like dead over here. He's like hiding himself. You've got Andrew Branca, who looks like he's about to swallow a hot dog here. Me, who just slipped on some mustard, right? Ben Chu's like, what the fucking right now. Camille is literally laughing. Like you can see she cannot keep from laughing. This woman's laughing. Shanley is trying to look serious and professional. James looks like a child who just discovered Santa is not real. You know, I say that because James looks like he's 12. I love James, but he literally looks like so young.
Well, and then
I love it.
The time that Johnny Depp broke up, and I think you heard the judge laugh when he said, "Isn't Brando dead? I guess he's not using an earpiece." And I think you hear the judge laughing out loud.
I couldn't believe he said that. Yeah.
Why would you say that?
It's just stupid.
Like what? Why would you go there? Like that did not need to be said.
Look at him. Why are you asking why he does anything?
He's a dick. I know.
Fucking nuts.
I know. He's a dick. Electro Beard says the expert yesterday should have used Margot Robbie as a comparable actress for Amber Heard. I like the Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Valiant, about Margot Robbie?
I think it's got a lot of the same problems as the other ones, but I kind of see you'd have to. It'd be, I guess it depends on at what point in her career are we talking. I mean, Margot Robbie had, she had
Wolf
that
of
kind
Wall
of breakout. Yeah, I was going to say Wolf of Wall Street was
Wolf of Wall Street.
That's what made her. And I mean, she was good in that movie for a lot of reasons. But then she got title roles. I mean, she wound up getting title roles like Harley Quinn and things like that.
Yes.
And I don't. Could that have happened to Amber Heard? Yes. Had it happened to Amber Heard yet? No. So again, that's part of the speculative argument you have to make, trying to infer financial damages based on maybe would have, kind of, sort of, could have been.
Maybe should have, could have. Maybe should have, could have. Maybe in one universe. Yeah. Deborah Ryan says, fact is, Amber is very forgettable and has no depth. Yes. No real talent. Her most memorable moments have been on stand. And truth or not, she's unbelievable. Johnny isn't hurting her career. She is. Deborah, facts. The only person who's owning Amber Heard is Amber Heard right now. She has literally hurt herself. She never had to make these allegations against Johnny Depp. This was not necessary. She could have taken her $7 million, more than she ever made in Hollywood, and walked away. Instead, she had to go try to transition to the ACLU, to a representative for gender identity violence. And we can speculate that she's doing this because her career was going nowhere, because she is a nothing burger and she was dying. Her star was already falling in Hollywood. We can make that speculation. And at this point, I think that's fair. John Yarber says, by the way, good morning. If JD stays sober, which it seems to be, he will make an RDJ comeback.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I do hope so too. Ann says, Catherine said Johnny brought defamation to himself by suing. That shouldn't have been. I think there was an objection there. I think this is the disgusting insinuation, right? So it says then Amber should have brought it to herself by writing the op-ed. The thing is, this whole argument, and by the way, the mainstream media before yesterday came out with the fact that this is judicial violence, that bringing lawsuits in itself is violence, right?
Everything is violence. Everything.
That is literally disgusting.
Including spreading memes is a psychological assault, I believe, is what one of the
arguments.
arguments.
Keep moving the goalposts on what abuse is, and it's driving me nuts.
There needs to be a line, and I hope that this case says, okay, we have a line here, right? Like a lawsuit, which, by the way, has exposed the truth about this and let everybody see what's really going on. This has brought more light to this. Versus obscured it. But for this lawsuit, we would never have known the truth. The majority of people are never looking through documents. I mean, Jordy, maybe some people in the UK looked through the Sun trial, but that wasn't televised. And I guarantee you, a lot of people have not seen the original documents.
Parts of it did have cameras in it.
Okay.
It was part and part. So there were parts of it where Nickel was like, yeah, we can have cameras in here for this. But there was a lot of it where he was like, no, this shouldn't be have cameras around. And I can understand that, though. I can honestly understand that, because you've got to remember that the documents involved in the Virginia case are under a protective order. So any discussion of those documents had to be done off camera anyway. Plus, they weren't allowed to use them in the end anyway because of the protective order. So,
yeah.
But I agree. Not many people actually like looked into like
at large.
I've had so many conversations with your chat over the past few days and week about actually giving them wording from the actual judgment, because people are inferring things from what they've seen either in independent media or mainstream media about the case, but not actually going and reading the 130-page judgment. And it's 130 pages. Of course, people aren't going to go and read that. But there's not many people that have like sat there and actually gone through it and gone, okay, well, this is why this part shouldn't really be there. This is why this part shouldn't be there. And same with the appeal that followed it. Nobody's really gone through that judgment and looked at why the appeal was rejected.
Even as a lawyer, it's difficult to go through those sort of documents because that's a lot of time. That's an investment of time. Like, we're all looking for a summary and for a quick version. And the quickest way to get information still as humans is to see it. Right?
Oh, God, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You can process so much more information visually than we do with reading and written word. Cookie Cat says, here in Northern Ireland, tiny country as we are, but there are charities for men's victims of DV loving the show. I love to hear that. I love to hear that there's been, I know that for a while, there's back in the day, like a long time ago, maybe 10, 20 years ago, there were almost no places for victims of male victims of DV in the UK. I know there was a big movement to change that. So I'm glad I hear that's changed, at least in Northern Ireland. Miss Glasgow says, luckily Johnny didn't have a kid with Amber H. Dear sweet Jesus, that would be horrible if he did. Amber Heard is a washed up Joan Crawford, post-truth. Maddie HDD says, actually, they should have used Cyborg and Flash.
Joan Crawford at least had talent.
Yeah, there was some talent there at least.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Elena Burns.
She knew how to use a hanger, too. Man.
All right. Yeah.
Mommy dearest joke, folks. Here we go.
Elena says,
yeah, mommy dearest joke there.
Yeah.
Clarify.
If Amber Heard loses, can the court garnish her future income? If so, do you think she will quit acting to spite JD so she doesn't have to pay him, or do you think her ego would allow her to quit Hollywood? So there's interesting how garnishments work in the United States. So if you're a salaried employee, you can garnish the wages on an ongoing basis. But if it's something like a royalty or a payment, or if you're a contractor, you can make a one-time deduction. But the way you do that is you get like one bite of the apple and kind of that's it. So for example, if she had a contract, they could probably take one bite of the apple, but they're not going to get to go back. For example, let's say it was a contract for, $1 million plus merch, right? Sales, they probably would get a bite of the 1 million, but not really necessarily a bite of the merch. It's kind of complicated how garnishment works, but they could. The point is that there's, for Amber Heard, especially a public figure with public contracts, they will definitely be looking to come from that for a piece of that.
And surely, depending on what amount is awarded, bankruptcy would potentially be one of the only options if it's too high of an amount for her, because let's face it, if it's anything over anything over 7 million and she can't afford it, can she?
yeah, that's right. No, that's very true. Well, unless we get this one, Liz Kilmer, which brings up this good point.
Wow, yeah, Musk
funding AH Legal. Surely these jokes show he doesn't really
has that
support
actually been confirmed? That's my thing. There are lots of reports on it, but has it been
controversial confirmed? Well, the confirmation is that he banged her, right? That's for sure. Because we got the elevator thing. He banged her, okay? That's like 100%, right? However, beyond that, it is all hearsay, whether or not he's actually bankrolling her. Now, it is confirmed that he did donate to the ACLU on her behalf.
And it is weird how during this trial he's tweeted that Tesla are opening a legal department. Whether that was jokingly or whether he was serious,
I think he's serious. He's serious about that. He is serious
about that. So that's another way that you could also say that he's potentially paying for it because of that coming out during the trial. So it would make sense.
It would be a gross. Tesla's a publicly traded company. Yeah. It would be a gross misappropriation. I was corporate counsel here. I did this. The shareholders and the board of directors are not going to fucking approve legal defense funds for Elon's like paternity suits or whatever it is, or sugar daddy stuff. for Amber Heard. That is not a corporate expenditure that's going to pass muster. That there's no fucking way in hell that's gonna pass. Like, no way. Nobody's going to allow that to go. But that being said, him using that as a way to get the information for good lawyers, and then independently using those good lawyers to have a private suit, that, my friend, is on the table.
Is that not a conflict of interest though? If they're lawyers for Tesla, and then he tries to
no. So here's what he could do. Work. I got it. I got you. This is not the illegal mindset, but I'll give you the sketchy way to do this. So here's what you do. He put out a tweet. I guarantee you, he got thousands of people, thousands of lawyers, right? So he selects the top 100 for Tesla. So the top 100 get interviewed by Tesla. Tesla takes the top 100. Well, he's still got, let's say he gets 2,000 applicants, right? He's still got another 1,900 applicants. They're probably, some of them are pretty good. And he probably has a couple that specialize in baby daddy type situations that he could use personally. They will not represent Tesla. They will just represent him. He'll say, hey, the Tesla slots are full, but I got a job for you, baby. And as lawyers, we're oftentimes mercenaries. We will go where the money flows. So if you told me that, if you told a family lawyer that you get a chance to be Elon's sugar daddy lawsuit,
I'd jump at that. Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, you're going from like 30, 40 grand up to like a couple of $100,000, I would assume, at that level.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
I would speculate that Elon could fund this trial with whatever he happens to find between the cushions of his sofa.
Exactly. He's got plenty of personal wealth that could deal with this. He doesn't have to.
He's going to be totally fine. He's got so much personal wealth. It's ridiculous. Ghost of Recon says, good morning, LM. Glad I'm up early to watch. Got a flight today. Good. Have a safe flight. I'm flying on Saturday. I'm back from Korea to the US. So wish me luck then too. This is probably for Jeff, which is Pearl Player, €2. Pineapple on pizza is violence. How do you feel about our fellow Koreans and their taste for pineapple on pizza, Jeff?
It's not
a sin. It's a sin.
I don't like it.
Pineapple on pizza is the least amount of violence that Koreans do to pizza.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff, and I'm really not here for it. Really not. Deborah, $10 super chat. She has repeatedly referred to being happier when surrounded by women, being in relationships with women. Okay, so that leads me to believe that she thinks that she simply seeks to manipulate men for gain, taking advantage of Johnny Elon. See, I don't know, because there's different ways with this. Because see, the thing is, right now, I think Amber Heard is a clout chaser, and she's just riding the trends. Right now, it is trendy to be LGBTQ++. So that gets her this. Amber Heard got famous for being a lipstick lesbian, right? For being the, that's a term, right, guys? I didn't invent that, right?
No,
that's
I know.
Term, right?
I just hadn't heard it in a while. It caught me off guard.
It's an older one, right? But being she's bi, right? But for being like the sexy bi girl, right? In Hollywood, that was where she got part of why she got famous.
Well, do you think it's that she likes the women and the guys, or do you think she's an alpha looking for a beta, and the women and Johnny and Elon fit into the beta category?
I agree with that, and I think a lot of times she's looking for more than that. She's an abuser who's looking for a victim, and the women end up victims to Amber Heard. So, I mean, I'm really thinking that more often than not, she's a predator that is looking for prey, and unfortunately, some of these women, in addition to the men, end up prey.
Somebody needs to tell Eve Barlow.
Watch out, because everybody think about all the.
They're coming for you now.
Think about all of her friends: Io Tillett, right? Raquel, Whitney, even Whitney, your sister, right? All of them are distance themselves from Amber because she is bad news. They're not her BFF. She even said, "Why did she talk to James Franco? Because she burnt out her other friends." I believe that.
Yes.
I believe that.
Yeah.
That is true. The difference is the reason why she burnt them out. Ms. Glasgow, 49 says, so much people on the Amber Heard team is depending on that $1 million. It's all about the money. Well, if it's funded by insurance, it's possible they're already paid. I guarantee you the lawyers have retainers. They're not working for free. Like nobody on that team is working for free. And those witnesses, they're mercenaries. They're not working for free. I guarantee they were already paid. So the checks had to clear to the experts. They're not getting on the stand without a check. That's like clear. You have to
And
pay.
I don't know
experts.
how much insurance is really. I've seen this around, like the homeowners policy thing, and I'm like, look,
Yeah.
okay, I've been doing that for a long time. I can tell you right now. I mean, usually homeowners policies are not going to cover that. Plus, I don't know if does she own property, or is she still living in Johnny's, or does she have her own place? She'd have to have a homeowner's policy in her own name. Number
She's
one.
not
Number
living in
two-
Johnny's. Johnny sold all those residences. So,
Oh, goodness. Okay. But the
yeah.
other thing is, usually if you have a homeowner's policy, you'd have a personal liability umbrella policy on top of that could cover something like this. But there are limits to that. Usually most of those umbrellas are like $1 million, $2 million umbrellas for personal liability. And I don't know if they would cover a defamation suit. They're usually there for personal injury on your property.
That's usually
Yeah.
out in a clause, and any clause is like this type of suit is excluded from your policy and from your umbrella policy. Like,
unless she has like one of
No.
these crazy specialty policies from a Lloyd's of London or something like that, that these Hollywood types might acquire that I've never heard of. I kind of doubt it. Somebody's
I doubt
going to be paying cash for this.
Yeah, and I would imagine that they would come with hefty premiums if she did have such a policy.
yes,
Which I doubt she'd be able to afford.
Yeah.
yeah. By the way, guys, listen to my beaver and follow everybody who's here in the chat. Everybody is out here. Legal Vices, Valiant Renegade, Jordy. I've got his Twitch and his Twitter in the description, so you can follow everybody there.
And you've got almost 10,000 people watching live.
Guys,
You've got 2,500 likes.
1,000 people. Let's get the likes up to 5,000. Okay,
Yeah, we
let me
can do 5,000. We can
5,000.
do
I'm not-
5,000 likes.
I'm selling. I'm not Amber Heard. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to double you here. I'm not saying give me 20,000 because there's 10,000. No, half. Give me 5,000. I think you guys can do it.
And if you spend 4 seconds, you can give me 10,000 subscribes.
Funeral Man 04 says 1999 says, with Amber Heard having a turd over 4 hours left, how long till they rest, you think? And my sister is still a putz. So I think you mean her sister. But anyways, 4 hours left. Frankly, they could burn it all if they try to do 2 experts. I think they could literally burn all their time. They could do that. It would be idiotic. They could do it. I really think they shouldn't. In my opinion, they should just rest. But
Right
if they
now.
really want to, they could try to run them both. Now, if these are video deposition witnesses, then maybe they go quick. Maybe because you know how long they're going to be, and maybe they burn it in 2 hours. But I'm really concerned about their side and their time. But we'll see. We really don't have an idea of how long they are, or what they're going to say, or what's coming with Amber Heard. Frankly, I have a little hope. Deborah Ryan. Oh no, wait, I got that one already. John Yarber says Amber Heard will end up like Anna Nicole Smith if she's lucky. Margot Robbie is a better actor. Elon was riding the freak train.
Yeah.
I will say about Elon, though. He does have an interesting taste in women. I will say that about Elon, right? Elon's choices are definitely questionable. By the way,
on the crazy scale.
we're having
Because he
such a
can afford
debate. We're having such a debate in here about pineapple on pizza, right? People are saying pineapple, onion, bacon, yummy on pizza. I've got an apple on pizza here. People saying it's good with a certain type of cheese, kimchi on pizza. I mean, we're
That's
really getting
standard.
busy.
Yeah.
I
No,
take
it's-
some kimchi on pizza. I'm good with that.
I do like kimchi. I will say I am a fan.
All right, that's one of my. That's going to be one of my new Korea vlogs. Just order a few Korean
Pizza,
pizzas to show you
yeah, do
what
that.
the fuck they really do to pizza here.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You see what those Korean street food videos get hits on YouTube? Like 4 million
Yeah.
hits of just people making eggs and hot
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Jeff can do it with legal knowledge on top of that.
Yeah.
Didn't the guy at the ACLU say Elon's 5,000 counted towards a pledge? Yes, he did. Yet she said that wasn't true and it didn't. She owes more. Yeah, so the guy is counting it towards the pledge. He's here. I think he was giving it in the light most favorable to Amber. In the light most favorable to Amber, you count that at a minimum. But still, she's so far off. She's not even close. Sal Music for $10 says, I'm a university counselor who has helped many male victims of female abuse. They come to me broken with severe depression. Few clinicians pick up on that. The field is corrupted with feminized ideology. Yes, and one thing, they brought up the APA, and I've covered this before. Many people don't know this, but the APA, and I'm just going to say it, they're very anti-male. They do not look at male problems as serious. They also view, I think, codified one of the new updates of the APA, a lot of traditionally male traits such as stoicism, keeping stuff to yourself. I think they also aggressiveness is now, toxic in a condition, right? So if you're stoic, if you keep stuff to yourself and don't bitch and whine at every 2 seconds and complain about stuff, you're now toxic. You're now problematic under the APA. So they are moving in a way that is getting pretty bad for men. But what I'm hopeful for is that this brings light to that, and we can reverse the chain, Soul, because we do need more people like you, more counselors that work with men and are saying, hey, look, you guys are victims too, because we need help too. Right? It's not just women who need help. We need to talk. We need to, get these problems dealt with because they're eating us up.
Yeah.
Haley, 699 says, I was listening to court yesterday at work, and it sounded at times like they were calling Dr. Spiegel Schmiegel. Could happen, but also it could be you're hearing it because he looks like a Schmiegel, right? Suffolk says, Amber Heard is bisexual. You buy, and she will get sexual. Brian Alderman, how the hell can I get in on this expert witness grift? I just want to make bank without actually having to...
I always thought I used to know something too.
It's true, right? Like literally, like these people are getting paid ridiculous amounts for jack. But look, there's not trials all the time. You're not getting trials all the time. So that's like a one-time windfall, maybe once or twice a year. So you're getting 5K or 10K or something like that. But it is a grift. And there are some people that are professional witnesses, but they get called out for it on the stand. Like, how much they testify and how many cases are in, et cetera, et cetera. Dogsplain says, if only that check before that stand included a reality check, the trial might have been taken more seriously. Jesus. Legal fees paid by home insurance. Got that. And we're going to switch over here to talking about the data in a second because, Jordy, I know you got to bounce. Dennis Shield says, the video you showed on Law Network, audio was live, and you can clearly hear Elaine say no to Schmiegel with no modifications. You can hear at least that live. So that's about the audio where he says, I guess, lie or
she said
lie.
no after the part where me and Kurt are kind of thinking where he was liking where he said, is there anything I can't lie or re-lie about in the testimony? And then she replies with no. It's more likely he's saying re-lie rather than lie. That's my view on it.
Got it. We'll get this last one here, and then we're going to go over to the next segment, which is Eve Barlow's Rotten Crotch, which says, I still maintain that if the bottle incident was true, Amber would have a snatch like a bucket of chum. That is
wow.
That is a
visual.
That's a visual. Okay, so I want to switch over here. So we've got a little expert here. Jordy, you've taken a look at some of the data, and before you bounce, I just want to give you a chance to comment on the data here. So some of this is going to be blurry, guys. This is obviously the exhibits you saw the other day, the hashtag justice for Johnny, hashtag Amber Heard is an abuser, hashtag we don't like you, Amber, hashtag Amber Turd, all these hashtags, all these graphs. What did you want to walk through here, Jordy? I can go to whichever one you want to
go.
So
let's go in order that they were displayed on the trial. So you want to go to your second tab first.
Okay, I believe it's this.
Second one first. This is the one that's got the dates on the left-hand side. So this was part one.
Yeah.
So just talking about this table as a whole. So obviously the numbers in the table are probably accurate, but the numbers in the table don't tell a story on their own. They are just numbers in a table. So highlighting specific numbers and not annotating on the visual why he's highlighting those. That's from data analysis, that's a big no-no. You don't just want to provide a verbal explanation on the visual that you're using. You want to provide annotation as to why you're pointing these specific figures out. Secondly, just looking at this table, it doesn't really show anything. It shows the number of tweets with those specific hashtags in specific months based on the data set that he was using. But other than that, just looking at this alone is useless. Therefore, I get why they had to bring it up because you've got to be able to see the numbers behind the graphs, but there definitely should have been more annotation on it. And if you're going to highlight specific numbers, you have to really highlight that whole line, not just the one number. Like if we look, for example, in the very first column, he's highlighted I think it's November and December of 2018 and January of 2019. And he's done that for pretty much all the way across on Johnny's, but he hasn't highlighted any of it on Amber's, even though you can clearly see that during those months, there were some of Amber's tweets that had numbers in them in that very last column that you can see on that page.
Right.
So he's not been very cohesive or very He's not expanded on it as much as he should have. He's done a very basic look at it, which again I get, but I mean the jury are going to look at this back in the deliberation room, and hopefully they're just going to look at the numbers and go, well, this doesn't really say anything that much.
Yeah, either of these charts right here, right? Because these are both
exactly
the same thing.
They're both the
right?
same thing. Like this one just includes,
here.
that second one just includes the extra couple of Amber's tweets on the end there.
Right.
Okay. Go on.
So moving on from these two, right? We've got this one, I think, which is.
So actually, if we move on to the next one first, because this one was the one shown in cross-examination, so I want to show this one. It's
this one, right?
Yeah, slightly harder to see because I took a picture of the laptop with it this morning. So this is the one that he showed during his direct examination. So what you're seeing here, these peaks and troughs in the yellow line, this is the Amber Heard is an abuser tweet, I believe, hashtag. Now that's fine. You can clearly see there are peaks and troughs with those, and they are the largest peaks and troughs on this specific.
When they remove the justice for Johnny Depp, right?
And that's what I'm going to get onto now. If you go back to this other one, you can clearly see that justice for Johnny Depp is the biggest one. Now, when you're looking at data analysis and data, it does, and I can understand why he's removed it to an extent, but the way he's removed it, it's telling an improper picture of the data that he analyzed. So normally when you're analyzing data, if you have one anomalous, I can't say this word.
Anomalous.
That's it pretty much. Yeah, anomalous result. You would remove that single result or
a single outlier, right?
Exactly.
Outlier, yeah.
Or let's say that this very first big peak on Justice for Johnny is the one that we're talking about. You would circle it and put like potentially anomalous, because with the analysis that he's done, he wouldn't be able to know if that's an anomalous result or not. And I'll get onto why in a minute. So he's removed that completely wrong because there's two big high peaks. So then it's clearly not anomalous because there's more than one high peak, and it's happened within the space of 12 months, I believe, from looking at the x-axis there. Also, you've then got these dates that he's pointing out. These dates have nothing to do with the Adam Waldman statements. There is no date here at all about that. These specific ones are talking, like some of them are talking about points in Amber's career when the stand was released, for example, when it ended. You've got the Justice League where she had what I think Valiant said 55 seconds of screen time. Then you've got the Gully trailer release, which I think is a film that they haven't even spoke about really that much. I think they did it on cross-examination yesterday, but they haven't really spoken about it all that much.
It's a small little independent film, is my understanding, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can't really attribute any of these specific time frames and points of interest that he's giving to the specific counterclaim that she's claiming, because obviously her counterclaim is wholly around the Waldman statements. Now, getting on to why I also believe that these aren't anomalous results, you've got the time frame here, which I believe is 2018 through 2022, correct? 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22. Yes. That is a ridiculous time frame to be looking at. It is such a narrow time frame. I know it's like 4 years, pretty much coming up to 5 years, but the reason it's such a narrow time frame is because pretty much all of these hashtags, as was stated in the cross, existed before 2018. And if you look at some of those Justice for Johnny peaks that happened before 2018, it proves that these peaks that you can see in this visual are not anomalous data. You only have to go and look through the history of Justice for Johnny. You can piece together pretty simply that just having shy of 1 million tweets for that particular hashtag isn't a rare occurrence over the past nearly a decade, because that tweet was first around in 2012, I think it was roughly. And same as if you look at like the Amber Heard one, I think that was introduced in 2015, 2016. So looking at this specific time frame doesn't show a true picture of the data that he could have shown. And what really kind of like miffed me off with the cross-examination was all you've got to do is go into his data set and pull out the positives and the negatives, because these hashtags, and I did some research into it this morning. Doing it on the front end of Twitter is horrible, so I'm going to do it on the back end of Twitter over the weekend, because the company I work for, we have access to these kind of APIs.
That's nice. That's real nice.
I know, right? So I'm going to have a look at it on the back end, but I can guarantee you that there will be, even if I just look at 1,000,002 tweets, and if I was to have access to his exact data set, I can guarantee you I can go in there and I can find hashtag Amber Turd that is both positive and negative towards both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. And this is kind of where the guy was being skewed, because, and I can see people in the chat.
What did you think about this? What did you think about this table here specifically? The one that had the hoax, fake, fraud, Waldman, this one right here.
The same opinion. All it's doing, let's take a look at fraud, for example. We can see that in hashtag for justice for Johnny Depp, there are 15,971 tweets that say the word fraud. But we do not know, out of that number, the context of how many of those are positive towards Amber Heard, how many of them are negative towards Amber Heard. Just because a specific hashtag is used, it does not mean that it is either. It could even be neutral, for example.
It can be used ironically, right? Ironic tweets, right? You ironically tweet, right? You might tweet, Amber is so believable. Hashtag, Amber Heard, hashtag justice for Amber or whatever,
Yeah, and not only that, with these tweets as well, you've got internet personalities, streamers, independent journalists that are using these hashtags as part of their tweets as well, because they know that these hashtags are popular on social media. And again, those kind of tweets are more than likely going to be included in this data, because there's no way he went through 1 million odd tweets one by one and independently said, these are all negative towards Amber. This is exactly what we need to be looking at. There is no way he did that.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for that, Jordy. I mean, frankly, a lot of the allegations here regarding the bots and the data and the social media, it's really disturbing, because it's really it's a deep allegation, right? And it also goes into other areas, because we're going to see this case will eventually be over. But this allegation that anybody who supports, particularly in this case, men, right, or supports something that goes against the mainstream narrative, you will be called the bot. You will be called, the istophobe, the this and the that. So it's very important that we understand how to debunk these claims, right? And how to say, okay, social media is being manipulated by these far right, these men's rights people, these misogynists. And we are able to go in and say, the data you're pointing to doesn't really say that. Doesn't really show us that picture. None of that data from what you've said and what you just said tells us really much of anything, because what didn't show us. Now, of course, I will show you guys right here. That could be the reason why they're bringing in a social media expert. Doug Bonney, I see here, is coming to the stand. Also, they have, I think he's probably the one that would, if anybody.
That's where I think that's the wrong move. Like, I get that.
Don't touch it.
Not don't touch it. They need to touch the data, but not with a social media expert. Focus on the data. Get a data analyst expert in to really drill down in it. Get him to go. They should have got a data analyst to go through the data set and actually do a proper comparison of how many of these hashtags were positive and negative, because that's what I'd have done on the visuals. I would have had the lines, but I would have had extra lines to say, right, these are positive hashtag and Amber Turds towards Amber. These are negative hashtag Amber Turds towards Amber. And I get that he was paid by Amber's team, but this is where it goes back to my earlier opinion, is expert witnesses should be independent whether they're paid or not.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. Thank you, Jordy. And by the way, thank you for that and going through that information. I think it's an important perspective for everybody to understand the data and the analysis. And that's why I bring you guys on, because you guys know more than me about that. I don't know shit about data. I'm like, hey, how do you send a twatter? That's literally my level of boomerness. So I appreciate that. Takei 2737, €5 super chat. It says, watching HG Tudor's take on Amber Heard, he convinced me that she really is a narcissist. She also showed so many narcissistic traits on the stand. Yep. Yep, she definitely did. Soy Mafia says Elaine is bad due to living with 23 cats, right?
She's definitely the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
100%. She's going to be cosplaying as her for Halloween. 100%. And that's really her real life. Kitty Cat 1374 says, what happens if Amber Heard's team runs out of time, but Depp's team has a deposition? Is Amber Heard's team allowed to cross-examine? Nope. That's the point. Under these rules in Virginia, according to our law tuber, he practices in this jurisdiction with this judge. He has said that the judge, when the time is out, is no exceptions. Says that's it.
I mean, isn't it working slightly different with video depositions because they're pre-recorded though? So the cross-examination on the video deposition would have already taken place and would already be part of that recording that's already been submitted to the court.
It's part of the time. I think they probably already factored that in.
Yeah. When you play it, that counts your time. You don't have to show that evidence.
Yeah. So
no, but I think what people are saying is if Johnny plays a video deposition, it would naturally include that cross-examination, wouldn't it? Because it would have had to be submitted to the court and both sides have to agree to it.
But I guess the thing is, if Johnny submitted it and there's a thing, and if that was to go over the time, that's like a hypothetical, right? Because like that time is probably counted to both sides, right? Because the cross is counted towards the Amber side. They're not going to cut. I don't think they would cut it out because it's just part of it. But also, I don't think Johnny would submit it, right? I don't think Johnny's going to use video depositions. I think they're going to use Skype.
They have got video depositions, yeah. Like Jennifer Howell is a video deposition, for example. So
I thought she was going to come in by Skype.
No, they can't have Jennifer Howell in by Skype because of the social media posts that she's made during the trial. She wouldn't be allowed. She's clearly been following this trial from start to end, and she's not an expert witness.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. Fair point. I didn't follow her social media, so I did not know.
Kate Moss is going to be live on video.
Yeah,
that's going to be very, very, very.
Well,
very
as Andrew said earlier, same thing that Dana White says to the UFC: don't leave it up to the referees. You got to make your case.
Definitely don't.
Yeah, do not. Becky R says, been a claims adjuster in auto and homeowners liability claims and litigation. No, this is not the scope of coverage under an umbrella policy. Yeah, that's why being like as a like corporate counsel and like Valiant over there as a finance guy, we're like, yeah, this doesn't sound like umbrella policy. It would have to be something bespoke, something custom, like you're saying, Lloyd's of London.
Yeah, Lloyd's of London.
These are literally like first uber wealthy people. If you're wealthy enough and you go to an underwriter and you say, hey, I need a policy for some crazy shit. You can do that. But that's some ultra wealthy, like Jeff Bezos level, like they will create an insurance policy for you. Most people do not have that type of money. And honestly, I don't think Amber Heard has that type of money, frankly. I don't. I think she's big enough. I think maybe a huge actor, maybe Johnny Depp could have done it at one point, but I don't think Amber Heard is big enough, frankly. Let's Be Real says Camille and Ben took pictures with the alpacas. I think Joe took a picture with the alpacas too. Shout out to the alpacas, the cutest animal in front of that courthouse. Cookie Cat says, does Jordy Walker not have a YouTube link to follow? I'm following the rest of you guys, but I don't have Twitter or Twitch. So no YouTube, right, Jordy? At least not yet.
No, I don't have YouTube yet. No.
Okay, we're gonna convince him. We're gonna corrupt Jordy into the YouTube brotherhood. Like it's gonna happen, guys. Don't worry. Debbie says, has anyone determined if the item in the lower corner of defendant's exhibit 1094 is a bruise kit or not? If not, what is it? So that's the video. Have you guys seen where there's a photo of him with the ice cream, not vomit, and there's a vomitus.
This is sick.
Yeah,
that was ice cream. I'm sorry, I didn't know that was ice cream.
Allegedly a bruise kit, something that looks like a bruise kit,
really,
in the lower right corner, not left corner. Lower right corner.
I don't think Depp's team will bring it up. It's speculation at the end of the day. Nobody knows exactly what it is. I mean, I think it's a piece of laminated paper with some colors on it. Other people think it's a bruise kit. I mean, there is a makeup brush there, so it could be, but it is just purely speculation at the end of the day, so there's no point bringing it in.
Let me go forward here, which is Eve Barlow's Rotten Crotch says a fadge like a bowl of bolognese. Shrug. Hashtag aqua snatch. Man. Guys, this is okay. One rule on my channel, guys. 10,000 of you, 10,619. Please smash the like button. One rule on my channel is I will always read your super chat. All right, I'm going to read the super chat. If YouTube allows it, I'm going to read it. Right? Some of the people might not read it.
I'm going to send the most vile thing right now.
I will read it. You can send whatever. I'm going to read it.
You wait till payday on Friday.
Right. I'm going to read it. Right. Daniel Chapman says, the data 100% becomes independent once they say, what if it...
Yeah.
That was one of the other things that really annoyed me. I mean, you cannot talk speculatively about data, and what, if any, is a speculative question, in my opinion. So data has to be precise, and like that's really one of my gripes with like that whole social media data analysis expert was he might have been good at computer technology and stuff like that, but being good at computers doesn't mean you're good at looking at data and analyzing data, which clearly he knows trash all about.
Yeah. Grim's Bar, and by the way, Grim, I sent you a link if you want to come on. Bots, everybody.
Yeah, we're all bots, everybody. Be in chat for the bots.
I did the pace wrong, guys. It's bots, everybody. There you go. In that mood, Chibi Peach says a lot of people here in my area think he's bigger. She couldn't do what he claims. My brother was a professional wrestler, and he was beaten down by a tiny woman in front of me because he wouldn't hit back. It's possible.
There's NFL players that have had the shit beat out of them by their wives, and size doesn't matter.
I mentioned it the other day that I'm training to become a professional wrestler, and my wife can still tap me out.
I mean, is your wife bigger than you though? Like, she's
a lot smaller than me. A lot. I mean, I'm 5'11" and I'm about 76, 77 kilos. She's about 5'5" and probably about 55, maybe 60 kilos at a push. So she's quite a bit smaller than me, but yeah, she can still.
Yeah, she can still do it. She can still do it.
Yeah.
Even if they can't, even if it's slap stabs or whatever from the abusive spouse, the wife, the husband just takes it because he's not going to haul off and kill her. He could take her out, but he doesn't, so he just suffers it.
Exactly. Simon says stuck in Seoul, and I think you reached out to me, Simon. Thanks for the entertainment and reply on Twitter. Keep it up. Maybe I'll see you in Dubai if we cannot meet up here. Yeah, obviously, I know you're only here for a few days, and I'm streaming this night and day. I literally have no time to even sleep. I barely leave my apartment here. In fact, it's like so bad I haven't been able to get out of my neighborhood in the last week. So I'm on quarantine, on trial quarantine right now. So I'd be like, awesome, let's meet up. Jeff knows me because we met up and we had drinks, right? So I'm down for that. Jeff is in Busan. He's normally down for that, but this week is crazy. So not the best week, but I really appreciate that. And I would love for a drink if you ever come back to Korea or we meet in Dubai, or if you're in the US and I happen to be in Miami, somewhere else, please come hit me up. If I end up going to Anime Matsuri in Houston, everybody is free to come get a drink with me because whenever I'm at a convention or anything fun, I want to get drunk as fuck because that's my prerogative.
Isn't this trial just so wild for time, for our own personal time allotment?
Yeah.
I was thinking I've reverted back to university level house cleaning and hygiene. I haven't shaved in 5 days. The dishes are piling up because you wake up, go to sleep, go to work, wake up, just repeat. There's no time to do anything.
It's all you can do, but that's what we do for you guys, right? And that's why we do it. Josh says, is it just me, or does it seem like you could get a ham sandwich?
That's the saying, isn't it?
Oh God, it's true though.
I would like to qualify my my mongrel dog as an expert to say that poop was not dog poop.
Yeah. Oh God.
And on that note, I've got to go and prepare for a meeting in 20 minutes. So have a good one. Thank you very much for having me on. And if
in the chat, follow Jordy. His stuff is in the description. His Twitch and his Twitter are in the description. Jay's in the chat for Jordy. Thank you so much, Jordy. I'll have you back on again. Really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, and if any of you guys want me on for data stuff, then just let me know. I absolutely love ripping data analysis apart because people don't know how to do it properly.
Perfect.
I don't even know how to do it wrong.
There you go. But thank you, Jordy.
Thanks.
No worries. Have a good one, everyone.
It was a pleasure.
Good to meet you, Jordy.
Casey Leach says, good morning from sunny Florida. You now became a part of my life. Hashtag girl crush Camille. Hashtag boo did not do the poo. Yes, 100%. The fact that they tried to blame boo is ridiculous. And by the way, lots of J's in the chat for Jordy here. So guys, I'm glad you enjoyed him on. It's good to have another accent in the chat, not just us abrasive Americans here. So I'm going to play the last thing I have for you today is something actually Grim sent over to me a while ago. And this is a part on some of the bots in the botnets. It's a little video. It is a little long. I'm skipping ahead. So I'm skipping some of the beginning of it. It is on his channel, which is Grim's Bar. So you can see it here, Grimsbar, pro Amber Heard botnet accidentally exposes itself. So I want to play this. I had read on my stream, and I know you guys listen to all my streams, about this pro Amber Heard post that had talked about all these bad negative posts and had posted the code at GitHub. Well, turns out, let's go by Depp. So I talked about this here.
Stan,
so I talked
right
about
there. You
myself.
go.
So Depp Stan, we're there. We got it. We got it marked because everybody is a bot and a Depp Stan. So there we go.
So this person asked for somebody to do some research into the code that was released on Twitter. So a couple of us went and did a little bit of digging, and what we found will
hold on. Speak of the devil, although it's device not connected. Grim, you got to get a device connected before I can get you on. But the guy who made this is about to come on.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, I'm going to add you to stream, Grim. Grim, welcome. How's it going, brother?
Howdy. How's it going, man?
Good.
Howdy.
I'm about to play your video, so you can like narrate your own video.
I would pause. Because we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot deeper dive and don't want to spook the people involved. This may actually be a front for some other crazy stuff that's going on.
So maybe we'll save this one. Do you want to save this one for like a future episode? Okay, thank you for saving it. Can you give us then like and by the way, this is Grim. Grim is gonna be helping me out with some meme videos. So like the quartering has Lofty. I need somebody to make me some memes, and Grim is going to be my Lofty, but less communist. So I really appreciate him helping me out with that on that end. But Grim, can you talk about a little bit about the data and some of the craziness that just in general is going on behind the scenes?
Okay, so digging into it, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. So instead of like they're claiming that negative comments are bots, but they're not bots. They're just negative comments. And so this repo that this person linked to you, what it's doing is it's targeting negative comments and flooding it with positive comments. And that's what this botnet's doing. And this botnet, it's been in the works for about 6 years. There's around 17 to 18 people involved in it. And there are some crazy connections. And that's pretty much all I can say right now.
Okay, so this is a future episode, right? This is a future.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
Future crazy thing. So guys, stay tuned for this. The story is not done with this. We're going to see what's going on with this in the future. So thank you, Grim, for stopping me.
Yeah.
Before I cell phone myself like an Amber Heard witness.
Yeah. It's wild. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, no. Appreciate that. Verinder, 29 rupee super chat. Thank you so much. Warren Chang says, I'm an American living between Dubai and Korea. Would love to assist you when you come to DXP. Oh, awesome. That's awesome. I mean, I love that to reach out to different people who are like-minded. I loved meeting up with Jeff here because as a person who's like an expat, unfortunately, and Jeff can attest to this, 90% of the expats in especially Korea are English teachers. I almost cursed.
But how do
English teachers?
You almost cursed twice. You mean
or in the army, right?
Yeah,
and the reason why I say I almost had fucking English teachers is because the most annoying question for me is, oh, you're in Korea and you're American. Oh, you teach English, right? Or oh, you're in the army, right? And you get sick of the question because everybody asks you the same question.
And I just think if any of our fine nation soldiers look anything remotely like me, we're all in a heap of trouble. I'll chase your commie ass about 30 yards. Then you're on your own.
You're like, you're getting as far as the border and goodbye. And they got across to North Korea. And Valiant, I know you got a roll. So let me give you a chance. So Valiant Renegade, his channel here. Valiant, do you have any thoughts or things you're going to look for today? Any final thoughts here before you bounce?
I'm going to have it on. I'm going to watch as much as I can. These expert witnesses are fascinating and not in a good way for Amber. So if there's going to be more testimony or if we're going to get to the rebuttal side, like I said, I really want to see what we're going to get out of Walter Hamada from Warner Media. That is going to be interesting because not only could he speak to the effect of what happened with the DCEU stuff and Amber's contracts there, even though he wouldn't have been directly involved in this side of it, he probably has very intimate knowledge with his counterparts over there, because Warner Brothers is also the studio and distributor for the Harry Potter films, which involved Johnny Depp. So he could get up there effectively and not only testify to the fact that, what went on with Amber Heard and what caused them to maybe walk away. Maybe he might get up there and say, well, it was what Amber was doing, is what caused it. And then in the same breath, he could say, well, and I know over there they were circulating that op-ed about Johnny Depp, and that's why they booted him from the movie. Now, he got paid for that third film for the new Harry Potter film that just came out and tanked. And I mean, badly tanked in the theater. But effectively, there's also a fourth and fifth movie in that series that was slated to be made, which may not even get made anymore now because of this. That is potentially something they could point to. So it'd be interesting to see what he actually comes up with, or what he's able to talk about, what he's able to say. Now, he might not be able to say much of anything thanks to NDAs, because most of these guys do operate under NDA. So that's what I'm most curious to see, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. It's been fun. Thanks for having me here.
My pleasure.
And again, you got 10,000 people watching. We haven't hit 5,000 likes yet. I know you guys out there can do it right now. Smack that like button, share this, hit the share button, share it out on your Twitters and your Facebooks and all this. Punch it out there. Nobody else is doing this in our time here in the U.S. I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning to come on with Andrew after I just got off 5 hours before.
And because he's dedicated, you should go over there and smash the like button on him, because Valiant is a hardworking guy. He's providing better analysis than Catherine Arnold, their expert, in 15-minute YouTube videos, and more value delivered than she will ever do on the stand. So go and sub the Valiant Renegade, because he is a fucking OG, and I'm going to be collaborating with him in the future, definitely, because we just get along really well. I really like working with him, and he's a really cool guy. So please do that. Valiant, thank you. I'm going to send you the link pretty much almost every time, so you can.
Yeah, if I can make it, I will. Yeah. But it's about
Appreciate
7 a.m. where I'm at now, here around the New Orleans area, and I've got a kid to run to school. So,
well, good luck.
Take care.
Take care, Valiant. Peace.
Again.
Official Rogue says, "Morning, gentlemen. Do we think today will be the top yesterday's craziness? Are they really going to call Johnny today?" Well, the Amber's team has said they are not going to call Johnny, but Johnny will come up for his side. So likely, honestly, I believe Johnny may be the last witness for Johnny. So Johnny may get the last word. That would be fantastic. That would be glorious if Johnny got the last word here. Just a nice chef's kiss, coup de grace on this. Absolutely perfect. Tom Growl, good question, says, Busan is nice from my Navy days. Would be willing to trade bourbon for Habasaki, Kentucky Owl or such. What do you think about that? You're a purveyor of the fine spirits.
Kentucky Owl is good. I don't know how long ago it was since you were here, but there's a lot of good bourbons and scotches here now. The last 5 years have been very nice for the alcohol supply here.
It's developed. It's definitely developed. Speaking of developing, Jeff Moser says, Red Light District vlogs when? LOL. Well, actually, it's funny because Jeff can speak to that. His name is Legal Vices. And the Red Light Districts have definitely changed in Korea over the past 30 years, right?
Yeah, they're essentially gone now is the problem. Because gentrification, I like, that's the thing about Itaewon. Seoul is an amazing, dynamic, world-class city. The gentrification is nice, but you still need some of the old Seoul
seedy side, the city side.
Yeah, you just need some of the grit, the dirt, the underbelly of the city.
I like the underbelly.
Yeah.
Like the underbelly of the tuna. It's the fatty part. You like it. It's the juicy part. You pay for the underbelly. Gouda Cheese says, Anyan from Michigan. Just wanted to say, I discovered your channel last week and I really enjoyed watching live streams. Awesome. By the way, this trial has really opened my eyes to how irresponsible mainstream media is in delivering the facts to the public. Gouda Cheese. This is what I think 9,000 of you are here for. My channel, I mean, sometimes, yes, I would get 1,000, 2,000, maybe 3,000 on a hot topic, but the people that are turned on to this, I think, are really mad that they are being gaslighted by the media. They are being just told one thing, and it is a complete lie that Amber Heard is downright just winning this outright, that her case is completely justified, that no one could ever argue against her, that you shouldn't believe any facts that, lead towards Johnny. I mean, I think that's really the thing that's devastating mainstream media right now. What do you think about that, Jeff?
Oh, I totally agree. And I think it was the journalist that was on last night. We were talking where she was saying that Court TV gets the things wrong because they come 30 minutes late. They sit, they listen for a few minutes, then they step out to report on things that they think they may have possibly heard. And then the other mainstream media is they're actually, if you go and look, and if you've been paying attention to any of the articles, they're actually saying that we're the dirt bags with the expertise. We're the they're the bastions, the keepers of all light and knowledge, where the riffraff on YouTube, the elite group of people that think they know what they're talking about, are being vilified in the mainstream.
Yeah, it's kind of deplorable, frankly, when you really think about it, because like it's something that's a misrepresentation. Like, it's a gross misrepresentation, and all we're trying to do, and all I've ever like tried to do, is like give the facts here. And the fact that they try to paint it any other way is pretty disgusting, frankly, to me. Yasu 300 says JD should ask for a public apology before he wins. He's not going to get it. It's not that type of trial. It's not like a criminal trial where they can say, "Hey, stand with a sign outside." Hayden says Amber Heard is lucky she wasn't born in England in the 15th century. We burnt witches. That's a good one. Shisho Makoto, £1 super chat. Thank you. £2. How do NDAs work with witness statements, VB, etc.? Well, if you're under an NDA, then there's some things you can and cannot speak about, and you could potentially say, "Hey, this is protected," and that's an objection, right? So it just wouldn't come in. You'd probably be, frankly, if someone is under an NDA, they're not going to be called to testify, because that's going to be a reason in which they can get out from testifying. If there's an NDA. Yvonne De Silva with 10 Swiss francs says, just asking for some cheers and love from Switzerland. Yes, I miss Switzerland, actually. Keep up the amazing work. By the way, it's coup de grace, not coup de grace. That would mean hit of fat. Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've only been, honestly, for France, for Switzerland, I've mostly been, east of the Rostigraben, which is like the barrier, the language barrier. So I've been in the German speaking part. I haven't been in the French speaking part. I think the only time I went to the French speaking part was to go to a chocolate factory, and it wasn't Willy Wonka's, because if it was, then that would be Amber Turd. Emmett's £2 super chat. Thank you very much. I think we're caught up. Thank you, Net. So guys, let me ask you, Grim, is there anything you're looking forward to in today's testimony? Like, we're going to see today in a couple hours from now.
I'm just hoping like there's some more crazy details that come out. For example, one of the things that really stuck out to me was when they talked to the accountant. That one just really stuck out, because he goes on and on and on and on about money. It just gets more and more and more. And I haven't been following it too closely, but I'm hoping that there's some really good snippets.
Yeah, we need to get some good memes, man. We need to get some good memes out of this one. I think we can do it. I think we can come up with some good ones.
Yeah.
And frankly, these people have been pretty quotable. There's been some quotable moments. I'm not gonna lie. Max, by the way, Max says here, just finished, my homie in Tokyo said, just finished drinking with Tokyo Godfather. BW, what's up? Good to see you, man. Hope you had a lot of sake over there, whiskey, whatever you're drinking in sketchy Tokyo City. All right, guys. Jeff, are you going to be running over? What channel are you going to be jumping on right?
I'm probably going to see if I can get over to Legal Bites, I think.
Okay, so you're going to go over to Legal Bites. I haven't decided yet. I'm a free agent. I'm going to see the way I make a decision, and guys, and I've told you this in the chat, is I see who has less people in there. If there's 6 people in a chat, frankly, I'm less inclined. But if there's more, then I will, if there's more on one side, I'll say, okay, I'm going to go there another time. But I haven't been in Legal Bites for a while, so I might stop by. I'm going to go get some real food again, not just KFC. Maybe get like 30 minutes of sleep and a power nap, and get this going. But thank you so much, guys. And once again, I always appreciate these guys coming on. So please support Legal Vices. You can follow Grimm's Bar. He's got a YouTube channel. Valiant Renegade. We had Kurt on Civil Law on. So follow everybody. They deserve it. 2 last super chats here. Yvonne says, everyone goes to the Swiss German part, the Rostigraben, you killed me, mainstream media. They see themselves as the savior of information. I've worked with them. They put themselves above other, all about fame. Yes. And hey, I'll let you know if I'm coming to the French part, right? I may need to go to Geneva or some point. That might be an interesting trip. I do love Switzerland. beautiful hiking. But mainstream media, you're absolutely right. They just care about themselves and their own reputation and saving their own ass, frankly. Joe Everyman says, heard witnesses talking about stuff in media headlines like no perfect victim. It is so transparent at this point. Too bad the jury can't see it. There's no way they didn't put out those articles knowing what her side was going to say. There's no way they didn't do that. No way at all. Guys, my links are here. So I have locals, right? I've got YouTube. I've got Twitter. So I'm The Legal Mindset, right? Thank you. Thank you, my beaver here. Thank you. So you got locals. You can follow me there. That's exclusive content. That's a subscription to me. It's exclusive content. You can do it for free or you can pay me, whatever. There's both types of content, paid and free content on my locals. Also, YouTube, Twitter. I've got Instagram. Esquire International is my Instagram. So you can follow me there. Guys, thank you once again. Take care. Catch you later.